Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Got a great broadcast lineup for you this morning, as I hope and I pray that we always do. I'm not important, just a question asker. My name is Raheen out of Atlanta, Georgia, and we have our crew. They're actually coming in. Everybody's going to be here with us today. We got a great topic, a couple of great topics we're going to talk about today. But before we get into that, I want to give you the number. The phone lines are certainly open. All you have to do is give us a call at 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We definitely love to have your input. I think we have my brother from another mother, but we got the same father. This is Mr. Donald Toussaint, the wise man. Good morning, sir. How you doing this morning? Oh, a wise man don't know how to get that camera working this morning. Uh-oh, he over there feeling fattling. He fiddling, and doing a little faddling. Good, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Man, I'm good. Okay.
Wake up, wake
Yeah.
up, wake up, wake up, everybody. No more sleeping. Man, that's all Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes. Mr. Teddy
Go
P
ahead.
singing.
Go ahead.
Mr. Teddy P singing.
Go
Wake up,
ahead.
everybody. No more sleeping in bed.
You know how you get to
Oh,
Carnegie Hall?
yes, sir.
Practice, practice, practice.
Let me hit it one more time. Wake up, everybody. No more sleeping in
Well, look, there's
bed.
another way you can get there.
What's that?
Get your ticket. Get your ticket. Get your ticket.
So much for backward thinking, time for thinking ahead. World's changed so many ways from what it used to be. Boy, look, I'm gonna be on the stage, brother. I'm gonna be on the stage.
It
There's a
ain't even, it ain't even way out west. You know they will let you on the stage.
yeah. I'm gonna be singing though, brother.
You know you can sing while you're there.
Yeah, and there's gonna be an
But see,
audience there. So
somebody,
it's gonna
somebody,
be an audience.
somebody got to buff the floor.
Boy, look at I don't know where to support at the love and the support this morning. Boy, look at this man. I told me I'm gonna be on this after everybody's gone. I'm gonna be up there sweeping the floor with a
Sing it,
with one of them brush
sing
brooms,
it.
one
Go
of them
ahead, sing
people.
it, sing it again.
Wake
Sing
up,
it.
everybody, no more sleeping in
Now
bed.
you got to do like you got that buffer in your hand.
Look, like that. Wake up, everybody, no more sleeping. Then all of a sudden, somebody gonna be in the background. Look,
Take a break, son. Take a break.
we paying you to sweep. We paying you to sweep. All the other stuff. No, 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 no. But Tucson, I got a question for you this morning, man. This Joker right here, boy. This Joker right here. Tucson, I need to ask you a question, and I want to hear your whole heart on this here, brother. There's been another shooting. There's been another shooting. Guy, he was a teller at the bank, um, in Kentucky. He got wind they was gonna let him go. They was gonna fire him. He was gonna lose his job. They was gonna let him go. He wrote a note, I guess, to his parents or whatever, saying that he was going to shoot up the bank, and he did. He went in during a meeting, and that morning shot up the place. They even had people that couldn't make the meeting that was on virtual, and they comment saying they had to sit there and witness him shooting up the place, people dying in front of them on the video camera. Then they say that it is said a couple of stories came out. One of them is that he turned the gun on himself, and before they killed him, he killed himself. Tucson, I want to ask you this question, man. And I want to hear your whole heart on this, man. Is that a cowardly act to go in there, kill all those people, and then instead of facing justice and standing up for what you did, killing yourself?
Uh, Suicide is real,
Mm.
but vengeance is a terrible thing. Um,
Wow.
People, I don't know what the decisions he made before he took his last breath.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, really.
Yeah.
Um, but something brought him to that point.
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
That's what we fail to take a good look at,
Mm-hmm.
because I remember nicest guy that you ever want to meet. Um, all he desired, all he wanted was a transfer,
Mm-hmm.
because those that was his superior just dogged him out,
Yeah. Yeah.
and they enjoyed it. Must have, because they told him, no, we're not going to let you just let it transfer. You got more than 13,000 people in different departments. I think you got 23 departments
Mm-hmm.
that you can transfer the same employer to. You train them. They even got a training facility
Okay.
that you can train them in a craft.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you got, you just be like you when you retire, Raheem, go to Carnegie Hall and sweep the floor. Just had to throw that back out there. But no, I'm gonna get serious in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
But they could have transferred him somewhere, but
Yeah.
they no. So this guy, same scenario. They in a meeting, and all of a sudden he comes in,
Mm-hmm.
and he is after the two that treated him bad.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Mm.
And you know, um, he didn't kill himself,
Mm-hmm.
but he's still spending time for that. One of them survived, and he's still mean and
Mm.
nasty to people.
Good Lord.
He got a job for life
Mm-hmm.
and mean and nasty. So there's twofold. I'm gonna get to the other part. Just me and you for right now.
Yes, sir. Uh-huh.
Oh boy, hot dog.
You get to talk this morning, ain't it?
We get to talk,
Yes,
and
sir.
I can shut up too. But so something brought him to that point.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I told somebody recently, if you don't want me, I don't want to be here.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You ain't gonna treat me bad.
Yeah. Exactly.
Period. You're not gonna treat me bad. The best attitude to have is, when I got this job, I was looking for a job,
Yep. That's right. That's right.
and I'm gonna move on.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't that serious. Not to me.
Mm-hmm.
Now, some people they depend on
Yeah.
the job because the job takes care of their personal problems. That's
Mm-hmm.
where it's at. I believe that's where it's at. The
Mm-hmm.
mistreatment and his personal life. When it all, they gonna talk about whatever he's going on, but he had a personal life,
Yeah. Yeah.
and evidently, I'm just me thinking outside of the box. Something in his personal life was at risk,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
he needed that job to take. So here they come. I don't know if he was a good employee or not.
Well, it is said that they was in the process
Yeah.
or going through the process of terminating him.
Okay.
Yeah.
The question is, how long he been there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know if he was a good employee, because I know some people that I work with. I want to walk up to them right now and let them go.
Yeah. just terrible. Just terrible. Just terrible.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
matter of fact, before I had my injury, I'm working, and they said, okay, overtime is wide open.
Mm-hmm.
So we working 12 hours.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at these mainly younger fellas, some of them are about my age,
Mm-hmm.
walking around, passing by work all day long.
Yeah. Yeah.
To go somewhere and take another break for 12 hours, Raheem.
Mm.
You know how long? How long that day is?
Just milking the clock.
Then they work in 7. Look, they come in on Saturday and do the same thing, and then they open it up and they pay them double time on
Mhm.
Sunday, and they do the same thing.
Doing nothing.
Pass by work
Yeah.
to do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Got their phone. Had to tell one of them, you can't put both of your earbuds in your ear because I'm talking to you and
Yeah.
you can't hear me.
Yeah.
What'd you say? And then you tell me I'm tripping.
Hey,
When
that's
we working with equipment in the warehouse,
mm-hmm.
and you can get hurt
Yeah. Yeah.
if you can't
Quick.
hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't
You
hear,
tripping.
can't hear that forklift coming either.
You know what I did? Call the manager. We don't send him back where he come from because we're gonna
Yeah.
have a problem.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah. Go on head on now. Go
Go
on
on.
head on now.
So I'm tripping. So I got a bad reputation because I got rid of another one. Gone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
And not fired because
Mm-hmm.
I don't have in our job workforce, I don't have the authority. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
have the authority to terminate anybody,
Uh-huh.
but I could suggest it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And then they go through the process.
Mm-hmm.
These days it's hard to get people fired or get people to come to a job. So you keep who you have. I'm trying, are we talking? I'm glad we got
Yeah.
time right here.
Come on. Let's do it. Come on.
But here's the thing. Whatever reason they was going to terminate him for,
Mm-hmm.
it might be so that he needed to be fired.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when people get shown themselves,
Mm-hmm.
they get mad.
Oh, they don't like that.
You
They
get
don't like
away with, they've been getting away with stuff, and somebody comes in and said, "No, not on my watch.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You tripping?
Yeah.
You."
Stop it. You cannot. I've been here for 24 years, about to retire. How could I
Yeah.
not do
I had a guy. I had a guy come working with me, and I was a lead man and he told me, he said, I just put in for this job here so I can chill till I retire. I said, you can't chill here.
Yeah.
If you don't do it, I gotta do it because I'm expected to get it done.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't take your paycheck home. I ain't
Exactly.
finna do what you supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
You
Exactly.
trying to get my job. No,
Mm.
you trying to get your job.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm not gonna have it.
No,
No,
you
sir.
positioning
Yeah,
yourself.
look right here. I threw away his lawn chair in the back of the warehouse.
Good Lord.
Threw it away. He got a
What?
where did he
What is
get
it
a
doing
lawn
there?
chair?
What is it doing now? What is it doing now?
Yeah, at the beach. He got a lawn chair kicking up his feet.
Yeah.
And when the manager comes in, he pop up like he doing something.
Yeah.
I said, look, man. I said, look, I passed by you 2-3 times
Mm-hmm.
and you
Mm-hmm.
didn't move.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
time the man come, you gonna act like you've been working.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
So
What's
anyway,
really going on? What's
so
really
here's
going
the
with this
second.
picture? Mm-hmm.
Here's the second thing about Raheem. The man take a gun and kill himself. He knew that they was gonna get him.
Yeah. He wrote a note to Toussaint. He wrote a note telling what he was gonna do. He wrote a note to his parents, letting them know what he was doing and why he was doing it. Premeditated, man. He knew. But go ahead, Toussaint.
No, but you see, remember the last shooter? The I don't even want to go there, but went to the school and shot up, and they had to stop them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if you don't stop them, they're gonna kill more folks.
Mm-hmm.
As long as they're living,
Yeah. Yeah.
they're gonna kill more folks.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what suicidal people do, but some take others folks out with them.
Yeah.
We got people that, get diagnosed with AIDS. They just have as much sex as they can, kill as many people.
Wow. That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. But what do you think it was a cowardly act for him to kill himself, though? Was it a cowardly act?
He knew it was coming.
Mm-hmm.
That's just me. I mean, Judas, I thought when you first said that, I know I took this long story because we got time. I'm so grateful, boy. I'm glad that we got time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, but man, look, I thought about Judas.
Mm-hmm.
Look at how many people that he damaged.
Yeah. Yeah.
By, you mean to tell me that your teacher,
Mm-hmm.
the one that a lot of people had a lot of respect for,
Yeah.
And the Judas mentality is suicidal in the point
Mm.
where, you know, you're gonna betray him with it. Man, what you gonna come on, man. You gonna
What?
betray me with a kiss
Come on now.
and regret. We
Mm.
see when we do stuff, we got it all planned out.
He couldn't carry that weight, could he?
No, we got it all planned out.
Mm-hmm.
But when we see it come to completion, too much for us to handle.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I had a guy, man. I'm so glad we got a little time, right?
Come on. Come on. I'm gonna put you full screen too. I'm gonna let you got it right now. Go
They
ahead,
got,
handle your business. There you
they
go.
got this guy. Boy, I feel like I'm on my own show now.
There you go.
We're gonna have to do that again, right?
Yes, sir.
But we had this guy, and he kind of challenging, and they was after him. They sent him to evaluation. So I'm the chief union steward. So I'm going in there and wondering why they got this man for evaluation, and he mad hot as a firecracker because he was strange,
Mm-hmm.
and he get in there and he just going off. I said, "Oh Lord!" I said, "Now look, bro." I said, "Remember we, Raheem." I said, "Remember we friends."
Mm-hmm.
I'm here. Look, and look, I'm serious too because I know he was straight. This dude would eat his lunch in the bathroom because he didn't want nobody to see him eat.
Good Lord.
Sit on the toilet eating sandwich. So
Mm.
that's strange.
That's nasty, there, man. That's
They
nasty.
call him. They call him in the office and called me one time, and he mad. He mad. I'm talking he hot because they call because what he was doing is taking his shoes off and rubbing between his toes. And so they call me,
Yeah.
to talk to him
Uh-huh.
because they wanted him to at least go wash your hands, man, because you're handling paperwork. So here I come, I'm this kind of fella. I'm that type of fella, I talk to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I go in there, I say, I ain't gonna call him name. I'm gonna call him Bob for this morning. Bob,
Okay. Okay.
how you doing, man? And like this, man, that's how I talk to him.
Yeah.
I said, I got something I need to talk to you about. They didn't call me. What
Mm-hmm.
is it, Tucson? I like you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm so glad you. I said, look, man, they called me about you, not washing your hands because you be. He said I got a foot fungus.
Mm.
I said, man, I said, how about we go right now? I said, let's go wash our hands.
Mm-hmm.
So he go in there, me and him, we go in there, you turn the water on, you got a little step, you step on it. And I get the soap, I wash my hand, you wash his hand. Tucson, you all right, man. So I say that because of this. When folk get to shooting,
Mm-hmm.
don't shoot at me.
Yeah. You don't want to be the target.
No, sir. Because people treat you bad on the job.
Mm-hmm.
They
Yeah.
If that's why we don't discriminate.
Mm-hmm.
Because if a person lives a certain way, that ain't got nothing to do with them doing their job.
Yeah. Exactly.
Let's make sure that you're doing your job.
Mm-hmm.
Get to a place that what the job requires you to do that, and we okay. I don't
Mm-hmm.
care how you living. I don't care who you sleep with. That don't
Mm-hmm.
make me no different.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you do your job,
Mm-hmm.
and we good. Other than that, but people get in other folks' lives, and they try to dictate how people should do in their personal life
Mm-hmm.
at the job, and that's a
Mm-hmm.
problem.
Yeah.
We do that in the church too.
Come on. You about to go somewhere now.
Yeah,
You about
we
to go
do that.
somewhere. You
That
about to
ain't
go
my
somewhere.
business.
You about to go somewhere.
Who
Mm.
Jody got that girl and gone? I ain't got nothing to
Yeah.
do with that.
Ain't no sense in going
There
home.
you go again.
Jody's got your girl and gone. Go ahead now. Boy, he throwing these songs out there. I love to sing now. I love to sing. I sing a song for you. I will sing a song for you. Yes,
Go
I
ahead. Go ahead, Ryan.
ain't no sense in going home. Boom, boom, Jody's
Wait,
got
man.
your girl and gone.
Wait,
Yeah,
Ryan.
yeah.
Do that part again.
Come on, man. Come on. You gonna do it, you gotta do it right, man. you, go- you gonna do it, Tucson. You might as well do it right. Ain't no need.
Woo! Yeah, Raheem.
Do it again.
Woo! Hold on, Raheem. I got somebody talking to me.
Okay.
Hold on. I'm multitasking.
Okay. I don't know what we got going on here. Tucson say, hey, Tucson, I'm gonna go ahead and say that. You know, me and you friends, right? You talking about people talking to you and I don't see nobody. Now we friends, right? Tucson, we friends. If you come shooting that, you remember me and you friends. You remember we friends, we boys, right? Oh, he ain't say nothing.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah.
Look, he didn't say
I'll
nothing.
be like, Raheem, you can sing. Just in case. Raheem go off the deep end.
I'm just saying, we got somebody else. We got a caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from? Caller, are you there?
Cassandra.
Cassandra. Oh
Hey,
Lord,
girl.
got Tucson and Cassandra. Oh, we got some problems this morning, y'all.
Teamwork,
Lord,
teamwork makes the dream work.
Lord,
Teamwork
look
makes
at
the dream work.
these two. Oh my God, Cassandra.
Teamwork make the dream work.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Cassandra, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning.
Cassandra, I need to ask you a question. And Tucson to went in on this thing. He don't went in on it now, and I need to hear your heart on it. Talking about the guy out of Kentucky, Louisville, Kentucky, that at the bank that went to work during the morning meeting and shot up and killed people. I think a total of 5 has passed already, and a couple of them, are still in the hospital. And then he turned the gun on himself and killed himself. Cassandra, my question to you is that a cowardly act to first go in there and kill up those people? And the second part is it to turn the gun on yourself and commit suicide? Is that a cowardly act?
No, I don't think this is just my opinion.
Okay.
I don't think it was a cowardly act.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was an act of somebody that's mentally unstable.
Mm-hmm.
Because they said some things that he had said or whatever that sounds to me like he was struggling
Mm-hmm.
mentally.
Okay.
So no, because if you're sick, you know what I consider or you consider an irrational move or behavior is due to the sickness.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's what they said that he felt like he was suicidal and also homicidal, that happens a lot, and it it's mental illness. That's all I can say. We
Mm-hmm.
have a lot of people that are very unstable right now, and I don't want to test it to any particular thing, but we know from what we're seeing that there are people that are struggling with their mental health right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
And we have to recognize that.
Mm-hmm. It is said one of the reports that's come out and said that he actually wrote a note. Some say to his parents, or some people say it was a suicidal note that he left.
Yeah,
Saying what he was going to do because they said it was about to terminate him. He was about to lose his job, and that was his result. And so I could definitely agree with you when you say that there was some issues going on. He had some issues going on because that's not the way a rational or quote unquote rational
that's
person
it.
would deal with loss of a job. Because if you lose your job,
Yeah,
go out there and get you another one and continue your
find
life.
another job.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, you find another job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I, because I have a lot of people in my family that deal with mental health issues,
Mm-hmm.
mental illness. My heart goes out to those that are struggling.
Yeah.
Yes, we can't. I mean, if a person really is having a struggle with mental illness, the rationale is gone. Think about that.
Mm-hmm.
They're not thinking the way you and I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the things that are like if they feel like someone has done them damage That's like the girl, the transgender girl that
Mm.
killed the people at the school.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
don't know what that girl had been through, how
Mm-hmm.
someone there had to have treated her pretty poorly. I mean, like extremely poorly
Mm-hmm.
for her to go back and take revenge like that.
Yeah.
So when people are struggling, um, I'm not their judge.
Mm-hmm.
I feel sorry for them, and I feel sorry for the people that they kill while they're sick.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that is what is happening a whole lot right now.
Wow.
People are not stable.
And to Cassandra's point, to her point, man, you never know what the person is carrying. You never, because this person had to have carried this for a long time to go back to the school, and with that amount of rage. They had to have been carrying that within them for a long time. She had to be carrying that for a long time. And so when you come in contact with the people on a daily basis, Tucson, you never know who you're talking to, what they're carrying, or what burdens they're dealing with or trying to overcome. This is so much in this world today. What do you say to that, Tucson? Tucson, can you hear me?
I don't, I don't know if you can hear me. Can you?
Yes.
I got internet
Yes, I heard
problems.
you.
Seem like it's skipping. Okay, so yeah, I've been in a position that sometimes you try to
Oh, he had a deep thought, and then he
not be
yeah.
a you can hear me
Yeah, yeah.
and talk to them. I'm gonna have to fix my internet because I'm skipping.
Okay.
But um people have a tendency again to decide that they're gonna be an influence on other folks' lives. And
Mm-hmm.
that's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if they married, unmarried, gay, straight, white, black, blue. They had one person, they're making jokes about Mexicans.
Mm-hmm.
I said, wait a minute. My grandchildren are Mexican. You didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Now you got a problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you feel like it's not a white joke or a black joke.
Mm-hmm.
You can have it with me. But now you were talking about something,
You stepped
and
on my
that's my
toe.
grandchildren.
Yeah,
That's
you
my
stepped on my
grandchildren.
toe. Yeah, yeah. You stepped on my toe now.
So I don't have a problem.
Mm-hmm.
You got a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Because you done said something that I'm going to have to bring to the table because you think it's funny, but it ain't funny to me.
Mm-hmm.
So you done caused me to feel some kind of way. And here's the thing, Raheem. I'm that type of person. I'm gonna have to deal with that.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I don't stop it right here,
Yeah.
you're gonna try it with somebody else.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And some people don't handle it like I handle it.
Mm-hmm.
This is against company policy. I had one lady, she said, well, I'm not a lesbian, so I don't. Wait a minute. Hold on. I got to see you in the office.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's somebody in this workplace
Yep.
that lives a certain way. That's not my business. She's a good worker.
Mm-hmm.
That ain't got nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
It ain't got nothing to do with you.
Mm-hmm.
You can't make that kind of comment at this place
Mm-hmm.
just because you think it's okay because you're not. That ain't got nothing to do. Does that affect your job?
Mm-hmm.
So this is what people do on the job. They do stuff that causes people, and some people have issues when they hired them, and they knew they hired them with issues.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm the type of person to tell the managers and directors and all of them, you hired them.
Yeah.
You got a problem with them, but you knew it was like that when they got here.
Mm-hmm.
So you in violation. And you can't mistreat them because you got a problem with them.
Come on.
because they don't live the type of lifestyle you live. They're not a quick thinker. They got some people, you got to tell them over and over and over again before they get it. So when people have mental issues, like Cassandra said, and you treat them like they just, you stupid. Uh-oh. Now I'm gonna have to turn you in. One guy told me, and I'm gonna shut up, let Ryan talk somebody else, and he told me I'm the big dog in my department. I said, but you're not the big dog here, sir.
Yeah.
You got to leave here. You got to leave here. You gonna see about that? I said, well, let me make a phone call, see who you work for, and I did. Joe did. He was the director in his department, but not mine. I don't work for you.
Exactly.
So we cause people problems, man.
Let me go to Ryan. Ryan, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. How y'all doing?
Hey, doing good. Ryan, we're asking a question this morning. And I'm sure you're very familiar with what happened in Kentucky, Louisville, Kentucky, where the young man worked at the bank, got wind that he was about to be terminated. And because of that reason, he went in and shot up the place, killed 5 people, injured several others.
I've heard bits and pieces.
Yeah, he left a suicide note. Some say for his parents, some say it was just a suicide note. And then he took himself. Some people say he turned the gun and killed himself. I'm asking a question, and the question I'm asking is that a cowardly act? First to go in there and kill those people like that, and then not to serve justice for what you've done and take yourself out. Is that do you think that is a cowardly act? What do you think about that?
So some people probably disagree with me, but I think suicide, period, is a coward's act. That's just how I feel. There's nothing in this life that would have me terminate myself. And then to terminate other people just because I'm disgruntled and then terminate myself, that's even worse. That's I don't even know if there's another level higher than coward, but that's what it is. You kill somebody else or other people and then take yourself out. I don't know the circumstances of why this guy was being terminated. Really don't matter. If you're being terminated, you're losing your job because of whatever, performance issues, attendance issues, whatever. That don't give you the right to be mad and kill other people.
Okay. And see, and like I say all the time on here, everybody have their opinion. I'm not here to give anybody their opinion. Some people would feel a little differently about that because, and one of the reasons why, because you never know what a person could bear and what a person can handle and how much they can carry. And to kill other people, I can't get with that part. But if a person gets to the point, and I'm not condoning it at all. I don't want anybody to walk away saying that we told them it's okay to commit suicide. No, that's not what we're saying. I'm gonna go ahead and kill that right now. We're not saying that. But some people get to that breaking point and they just can't take it no more. What are they to do?
Yeah, I mean, we had this conversation probably say about a month ago. We talked about suicide and how we feel about it. And I mean, I haven't changed my stance on it.
Yeah.
There again, you take my children from me and that's going to destroy my soul, but it's not going to destroy my will to live. I might do the opposite of what I was saying yesterday and seek vengeance that belongs to the man upstairs. But I'm not going to end myself. Even when I was using heavy drugs and had bad experiences to where I felt like I wanted to kill myself, there was still something inside that walks you away from that. You're not programmed to take life. You're programmed to preserve it, especially your own, at all costs.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Let me go to Toya with a T. Toya with a T. Good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, good morning. How y'all doing?
Hey, doing good, sis. Asking a question. And it's been all over the news. I know you've heard the story about Louisville, Kentucky. The young man went in early morning meeting and commits to killing people. There was a few people that couldn't make the meeting. It was actually on virtual, and say they had to sit there and watch, and they saw people dying before them. He killed up right now. It's saying it's up to 5 people. A lot of them are still injured in the hospital, different things of that nature. Then they say he took the gun, turned the gun, and killed himself. Toya, was that a cowardly act for him first to go in there and kill those people? And then the second part, was it a cowardly act for him not to stand up for what he did and killed himself? What do you say to that?
So in 2023, honey, these demons walking around here, boy, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable. But I did hear that story. And whenever I hear a story of death, I think about the wages of sin.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's one of the things to think about. But then I also think about how the devil will trick us into thinking that we're getting some kind of vengeance behind whatever we experience. You know what I mean? Bullying happens to adults too. And I know how it is sometimes at work, dealing with people being done wrongly or unfairly, or going through the whole thing you would as if you were in school. They do that. They do that when we're adults. And if you haven't figured it out when you're a kid, how to cope when people are bullying you or treating you unfairly or things of that nature, then of course when you're an adult, you might not have that same self-control, right? Because you were never taught it. But I can just imagine in 2023, because these people are terrible. These jobs are terrible. They're skipping, you know what I'm saying? They interfere with your livelihood. Some of these people, it's a fashion show. You understand what I'm saying? So I can imagine just in my mind what could have took him to that point. But again, it still lets me know that he was never trained on how to cope and adapt with certain issues because he felt it deemed worthy to not only hurt them and himself. Now, all of y'all know I was suicidal for a very long time until I was delivered. Y'all don't know God like dominoes. He delivers.
Oh.
What? Okay, and there were a lot of days where I woke up and wanted to hurt myself because I've had issues. I couldn't get away from it. Oh my gosh, it's so much. And it is a lot. So that part I can kind of understand only because I can identify. But I can also identify we want to shoot the whole place up because we go through issues we don't do right no more.
Come on.
We have no morals. We have no values. We have no standards. We don't have teamwork. We are manipulating each other. So again, I can understand, or I can just think about, because I've worked a couple of places too. They're like, yo, no, I'll come. What? Light this whole place up with the things that they doing, man. Come on. You understand? So
hey Toya, what was it one of them? Ooh, you just don't moments.
Yeah, we notorious for setting stuff on fire. What I set the whole place on fire.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? But no, it's challenging now in 2023 with all of the things that's going on. We don't know what happened. We won't know until the backstory come out. And of course, they're not even gonna let the backstory come out. But we don't know what this man was going through. They could have manipulated him. They could have went somewhere, you know what I'm saying, done something. Somebody could have gave him a disease, set him up with this other person, and they're all in on it. Y'all saw Carrie.
Yeah.
Y'all saw Carrie. 4, 5 folks get together trying to plot on you, scheme on you, plan on you, and you roll up like, yo, y'all beat me out my money. And they sitting back laughing and smiling and kikiing when their feet propped up on the table. Like, yeah, somebody. All right, I got that. And I'm finna come back and light it up. You understand what I'm saying? But again, we just never know, right? The inside story to what really drove someone to do that. Because sometimes there can be some I'm not gonna say justifiable, but
Mhm.
understandable reasons on why that person reacted that way.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna say it's cowardly. What I'm gonna say is it's demonic. I
Mm.
am gonna say it's possessive.
Yeah.
And I am gonna say that, when you make those actions, that's how I know that you allow the devil to trick you and you didn't let God in your life, because I know for a shadow of a fact, because he's done it for me, that he
Mhm.
will deliver you from that.
Mhm. Wow. Wow. Toussaint?
Yeah. I if I didn't know how to we talked about being either angry or passionate,
Yes.
remember? And
Yes.
so I've had some moments that I had to
Mm.
tell somebody at work, you got one more time.
Mm.
You
Wow.
got one more time.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I handle it a different way, because there are certain people that you can go
Mm-hmm.
to have matters handled. But some people feel like when they get to a certain level on the job, they're untouchable.
Yeah.
Because they're
Yeah.
the supervisor, or they're the manager, or they're this to that and other. And they got their position, and Uncle Billy got them the job, and they good. They got a job for life. And they can do whatever they want to anybody they want to, anytime they want to. And they get on the job and they are mean and nasty and ugly, and I turn them in as
Mm-hmm.
many times as I possibly can. Sure do.
Mm-hmm.
Now they might not do anything,
Mm-hmm.
but I do it again. And I turn them in.
Make
I
them
make
aware.
that report.
Yeah. Make them aware.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I said, here's what happened. Here's what he said or she
Mm-hmm.
said to this person. It had nothing to do with me. But in our workforce, if somebody else says to somebody and it offends me or it offends somebody else, that report has to be made.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that's good. I think that's a good thing. Because
Exactly.
there are people that don't care nothing about nobody but themselves. It don't fit them. If it ain't got nothing to do with them, they just like, man, Billy is just a trip. Look at him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, he dress, he wear the same clothes every day, and he just how you know that's all he got? Just
Yeah.
because he got a job. They
Mm-hmm.
got some people that have a job that are homeless.
Exactly.
Yeah, with a
Mhm.
job,
Yep.
a good
Yep.
job,
Mm-hmm.
because they had a life. But I wouldn't say take nobody else out.
Mm-hmm.
And I just can't see that. I don't see why people kill children. I don't see
Yeah.
why people mess with elderly people. But like Toya said, we
Mm-hmm.
live in a sick society. This is a sick society. I'm gonna throw
Yes,
something
it
else out
is.
here for free. I don't talk about. They say don't talk about two things, but I don't talk about three things. I don't talk about
Mm-hmm.
religion. I don't talk
Mm-hmm.
about politics,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't talk about sports. I don't care who wins.
Yeah.
I don't watch the game.
Mm-hmm.
First thing they say, I don't watch. I say I don't watch the game. Make
Yeah.
my blood pressure go up. People will
Mm-hmm.
fight about their favorite team.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm
In a
talking
minute.
about in a minute. They said, man, you mean to tell me the Cowboys lost and you slapped that man on the job? You
Mm-hmm.
stupid.
Mhm.
They're gonna come
Yeah.
get you. They're coming.
And I guarantee you the Cowboys ain't gonna hurt you.
No. He got a
Yeah.
mascot. He got a cowboy mask emblem on his car. Really,
Mm-hmm.
that serious? He's sleeping on his
Wow.
mattress. His what you call that? The quilt. I used to call it quilt back in the day. But what is that, Toya, what you put over your bed? That the
Look, watch
the
this.
cover.
Cover.
The cover.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Cover. Cover.
It got
Yeah.
the 49ers on it. The pillowcase too. The comforter.
Lord.
Hey,
The
hey,
comforter.
hey,
Comforter.
hey,
The comforter.
Okay, yeah, but look here, we ain't gonna be too
The
fancy.
comforter.
Cover.
See, that's why you're going. That's why I'm gonna pass the baton to Badger.
There you go, and we're gonna go to him right now too. But we ain't gonna be too complicated on here, man. All them fancy words. Cover.
Cover.
The cover. Badger, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. Another blessed and beautiful day we get to enjoy.
Absolutely. And that's good that you started out that way, because there's some people, man, in Louisville, Kentucky, that can't say that, because there's an individual that went on the job yesterday during the meeting, during the business meeting before the bank opened, and commits to shooting up the place.
Another shooting?
Killed 5 people. He killed 5 people. Then turned the gun and killed himself. It's been said that he got word that he was going to be terminated, and so his response to that is going there. He left a suicide note to his parents, whatever you want to call it, and he went in and shot up the place, killed the people. Now, my question to you is: was that a cowardly act to go in there and shoot up those people? And then, second part, was it a cowardly act to turn the gun on himself and not face justice and kill himself? What do you say to that, Badger?
It's about
Come on, man.
guns. You have to remember, I'm a.
Okay, no. Let's deal.
Oh
Let's deal with the
no,
question. A cowardly act.
Oh, anything to do with the gun's a cowardly act. That's the only reason it was invented, was for the weak to be able to rule, so they can use greed to rule others. They found something that worked, and they've been using it ever since. I am very anti-gun.
But let's concentrate on the coward on the question itself, though. You say it was a cowardly act because of that, or could it have been handled certainly differently?
Well, I would have hoped that someone would have handled it differently instead of acting a fool. It's just, we live in a society that don't care, that you have to get lucky to find people that have compassion for someone else. Mental health is in a horrible state, which we talk about on here quite often, about how the state of the mental health care system is. We've also talked about living wage and all kinds of things. So the whole
But Badger, you throwing the conversation somewhere else, though. Let's concentrate on what we're talking about in regards to the cowardly act with the gun and the killer. Let's stay right there.
Anyone that's going to go do that is going to have mental problems from a whole combination of things, and they just ain't able to handle it. And unfortunately, there's no one there to be able to help them. People want there is no simple answer for things like that. And when you have a tool like a gun, which is very easy to use, you just pull the point and pull the trigger. It ain't like a knife that you have to walk up and get side by side with somebody.
I wonder, and you said something just now, and in my mind, something else. I wonder if a gun, in order to pull the trigger, you had to solve a mathematical problem, some kind of a mathematical problem, in order to pull that trigger. How much would that decrease the amount of shootings that we have in this society? Just side note question. Don't even answer that. don't even answer that.
No, I didn't. I said the people that go and do shootings like that have mental problems of all kinds.
Wow. Cassandra?
Yeah, my position, has not changed. I don't consider, because I've known people over the years that have committed suicide, and I did not consider it to be a cowardly act. I knew what their struggles were, and I'm not saying that I condone it, but I understood
Mm-hmm.
how they got to that point.
Mm-hmm.
And unless you have walked in some of these people's shoes and felt what they felt and dealt with what they dealt with, you have no idea what a person might do to get out of the pain. People that commit suicide, usually they are in great pain. Great pain.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, I just can't deal with this anymore pain. So I don't see that as cowardly. I see that as somebody that is sick and feel like there's no hope. Once you don't have hope, then anything is possible. When you don't see any kind of light at the end of the tunnel, and you can, we all can say how we would handle it, but I've been suicidal. I was suicidal most of my young years, and into adulthood. So, and, I'm still here, thank God.
Yes.
But I know the kind of pain that I was in, that I actually tried to do it. So I consider myself an extremely strong person, extremely strong. But situations and circumstances, you in a frame of mind
Yeah.
that I can't do this anymore.
Mm-hmm. And that's why a lot of people, somebody got something going on over there. Mute your lines. Somebody turn up the place. But that's why a lot of people get to that place where they give up, man. The struggle becomes too hard and they give up. Again, we're not gonna say that we're condoning it. We're not gonna say that it's okay. We're not gonna say that it's all right, or we're certainly not gonna give anybody permission to do so. But you never know what a person is going through, man. You never know what a person is having to deal with. And not everybody could deal with situations and circumstances the same. Not everybody could do that. Toya with a T, talk to me, sis.
No, you're right. Everybody can't do it, right? And not for nothing, we're terrible. We humans are terrible people. And again, when I think about things like that, like I just said on the chat, I got a mental problem too when people bothering me. You keep harassing me. I come to work to do my job. You're making it more complicated. I'm sweeping the floor. You throw a piece of paper on the floor, and you're constantly doing things of this nature. You're picking with me. You're putting stuff in my chair, stuff coming up missing. You're eating my food out the cooler in the back, and you just laughing and teeing like it's funny. We still do that today. I'm going through it right now at this job with these young people. Right now, I'm going through that. Wow. I'm like, yo, you get discriminated against when you're in your 40s? Like, what the heck was going on? Right? But then when we have these conversations, y'all remember when that man went and shot up that post office some years ago?
Exactly.
This is what some of this stuff started back in the 80s. Because things be going down and we act like we don't know what's going on. Oh my gosh, what do you mean, Billy? We're not doing anything. Grow up. You're a grown man. You mean to tell me that you can't? Just a little workplace fun. Yeah, I'm going to come work this whole place and right on up and be right on in jail. Like, yo, we don't know how to act anymore. We don't have etiquette or ethic anymore. I don't want to say it's a sickness. Who got the sickness? The one that's taunting you? Or the one that this is how you reacted after 3 or 4 or 5 months? Nobody to call. No, listen, nobody cares anymore. Yeah. Nobody. Nobody cares about nothing anymore. You can be doing your job. They'll mess up your check. They won't pay you. So again, give me some meat and potatoes, because what we're not gonna do is not in America. What we're not gonna do is we're not gonna act like Americans got everything they need. We have our Mets want. And then when we get into workplace environments that people act like they got some sense. No. What was the background story on it? Was he waiting on a check? Did it come up missing? Because I've had that happen too. I told my boss before it was going to happen, because God was like, yo, they finna play with your check. That's how I know God real. I was in Alabama, I'll never forget, in Hoover with Steak and Shake. And I went to that man, I'm like, yo, I didn't say God said, because you know how they treat you. I said, yo, I'm not gonna have a problem with my check, am I? No, what would make you say that? And when check they come, my money not there. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So there are a multitude of things. Just because you don't experience it, just because you don't know that it's real, just because you're not from that world, doesn't mean that people get treated and pushed back into corners with simple things that are their right. It is my right to receive a check if I've done this work for
Exactly.
you. But you want to be personal because, you think you're too aggressive for a lady. You think you're a man. I'll show you.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we know the law is not on our favor, so we don't care. So we go John Q on them and go get business done ourselves at that point. We don't care because you don't know my struggle. You don't know what I've been through, and you sure don't know what I've been through with these people on this job while you sitting up there judging me, man. Sometimes enough is enough, yo.
Mm-hmm.
And when we're living in America, listening to everything that we go through in America, here you tripling my rent, but I'm still getting paid $11.25. This is my breaking point.
Yeah.
I got insurance I got to pay. I got one more car note. I told them that if I don't have that payment on this date, they're going to come get my car, right? My lights is out. My girlfriend tripping, don't want me to see my baby.
Mm-hmm.
My parents feel like I'm a screw up, and I've already been on the edge living like this for 27 days. And now here you come on the 28th talking about, oh, I'm sorry. We ain't going to be able to pay you this week because of something else. And you know I was here? You know what? Don't even worry about that. Hold that down. And I'm finna come back and give you the business, yo.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on. We really have to think about some of these things. We're still humans. So when things happen, we don't need to automatically jump to the person. Let's think about the things that might have caused that. Just like with kids. We don't need to just, the kid did it. No, there are things that may have happened around that point in time that could have triggered or influenced or encouraged this type of behavior. Let's not just look at the elephant. Who been poking the elephant? Who set the mouth in the room with the elephant? And now you're sitting up there looking crazy because the elephant that went and trampled over everybody in the room, but you don't went in there and let a mouse in there. And you know the interaction between mice and elephants. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just looking at it from, again, been suicidal before. I'm dealing with these people on these jobs and in these different ways, and they have terrible, disgusting, nasty, terrible attitudes, yo.
Mm-hmm.
So now that I've been delivered, I'm gonna say this one more time. I have been delivered from suicide, and I've also been delivered from homicide. Because at one point in time, I was like, now, wait a minute now. I ain't hurt myself. Now, if I'm gonna hurt somebody, I'm gonna hurt the folks that did something to me now, Toya. Now, come on now, stop. You understand what I'm saying? Like, what you gonna hurt yourself for when you didn't cause the pain to yourself? And that then flipped to where I had to go seek help because I'm not having problems with hurting myself. I'm gonna hurt somebody else, and somebody need to do something real quick. So I need to seek some assistance. You know what I'm saying? Because it's out the realm of me now, and I need an intervention. You know what I mean? So it's very tricky in 2023 with our society. Tucson, he waving his hand over there. He got something to say. He finna get me.
He about to get you. He about to get you. Go ahead, Tucson.
No, I'm not gonna get you. I'm just looking at the comments. And is somebody doing some advertising or some commercial?
That's a bot.
Yeah. I only fool that mess, man.
Yeah, that's a bot.
See, now that's what I'm. That's just, okay. This is just an example. This is just an example. People have their own agenda. Did we go out? You still there, Raheem?
Yes, sir.
Okay. People have their own agenda, and they do this type of thing just to promote themselves. It's all about them.
Mm-hmm.
And some people don't know how to handle that. I had a I'm sorry. No, I wasn't gonna get you, Talia. I had to make a comment about that because, man, come on now. Come on, man.
Mm-hmm.
Come on now.
Lord.
Where you come from?
Yeah. Out the blue. You know what I mean? Out the blue. I appreciate them watching, but look at here, man.
Thank you for joining. You can call in.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I didn't want to cut you off, Toya. I'm sorry.
But see, and there's so many different levels on this thing, so many different levels. And let me actually give the phone number. The phone numbers, the phone lines are open 508-924-3521, 508-924-3520. You want to be a part of the conversation, certainly give us a call. Ryan, what's on your heart, brother? Ryan, you there? Ryan may have stepped away for a second. Okay.
Hey, Raheem.
Let's go.
Raheem.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
No, I was trying to make it in the comments, but we had a guy that was hired on the job,
Mm-hmm.
and he was short. He was a midget. I don't know if he was a midget, but he was short.
Yeah.
Short guy.
Mm-hmm.
And we have this department that decided, the foreman and the general foreman, you know what they did, this guy?
What's that?
They decided that they was going to measure him.
Hmm?
They took out a ruler, tape measure from head to toe,
Mm-hmm.
because they were the foreman and the general foreman. And they wanted to see how tall he really was.
Mm. What business is it of theirs?
Joking.
Mm-hmm.
They thought it was funny. I had a manager come looking for a piece of material in the warehouse. And you know what he did me?
What's that?
Frisk me.
Mm.
He was an ex-police, don't mean no harm for nobody, but he was an ex-police officer.
Mm-hmm.
So he decided he was going to look for the material, and he said, he patted me down. And he says, I know it's somewhere in here. I said, don't you ever do that again.
Yeah. Yeah.
I said, I got a 6-foot perimeter around me. That's my space. Don't get in it no more.
Mm-hmm.
And that day, and I turned to my manager, he came with him. And I said, did you see what he did? Oh, I didn't see nothing. I said, that's why I called security.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I'm going to tell you something else that I did. I called the police department. And you got 6 months to do something.
Yeah.
It's because I'm not going to let this go. And if you don't do nothing, I'm going to file assault charges on him and have him picked up.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you do what you want to do. And they come, security come, and I get a phone call. They call on the phone, the warehouse phone. What's security doing over there? I said, I called them.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't nobody. Got no business putting their hand on me. No time.
Exactly.
Period. I ain't going to allow it. But there are some people, twofold. They don't stand up for themselves. And then there are some people that think it's funny.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I wish I would.
And ain't no humor in that at all. Stanley, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, brother. I'm doing all right. How y'all doing?
Hey, doing good, doing good. Asking a question this morning, and I know you're very familiar with the situation that happened in Louisville, Kentucky, where the gentleman went into the bank, and bank employee was about to be terminated and shot up the place, killed 5 people, injured many others, and then turned the gun and shot and killed himself. I'm asking a question this morning: was that a cowardly act? He left a suicide note to say, or note to his parents, whatever the case. But was that a cowardly act for him to go in there and shoot up the place? And then, second part, was it a cowardly act for him to turn the gun and kill himself instead of serving justice?
Well, that's a twofold question. A lot of folks are mentally unstable, so I'm not sure if it was a cowardly act or whether it was just a mental act, a lot of stress. And people don't realize, man, a lot of folks are under a lot of stress, PTSD, and a whole lot of stuff since the COVID. A lot of folks suffer from PTSD since COVID and don't realize it. They don't know what kind of financial situation this young man was in, but it sounds like something mental. And I don't know why he was going to get terminated. He might have felt like somebody, was picking on him, or I hadn't read the whole story yet. Been kind of tied up, but don't know why he was about to be terminated. So he might have felt like he was wrong in some kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
So that could go either way. It could be considered a cowardly act because a lot of folks, when you say commit suicide, that's the coward's way out. But then a lot of it too is mental, and a lot of it's stressful. And like I said, some of it could be PTSD from something. And then we don't know what kind of financial stress that young man was under. He might have felt like, hey, if I lose this job, I'm gonna lose everything,
Mm-hmm.
and it wasn't even my fault, so I'm gonna take it out on whoever I thought I think it is.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So I guess all of it come out in the. If it don't come out in the wash, it'll come out in the rinse. But we'll find out more as time unfolds.
Exactly. And Cassandra, that's mental illness is real. I mean, it's a real situation, man, and a lot of people actually deal with it. And if they don't go and get the proper help that they need, man, situations like this will continue to happen. What do you say to that, Cassandra? Cassandra? Cassandra, wake up and go to sleep. Wake up and go to sleep. Badger, what's on your heart, brother?
Well, I didn't know the guy committed suicide. I guess I must have missed that part too. Missed that part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Mental illness is a messed up thing, and not everyone can handle the same amount of stress.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as we've said on here multiple times, as far as that goes, there's a couple of us that had those thoughts, and I think a couple of us that actually committed, and we survived. And that's a whole different kind of eye-opening experience. The crazy part is those of us that survive, there's quite a few people that wish we didn't. So there's that aspect too. I was pulling up some stuff as everyone's, you know me, and the shooter was an intern for 3 summers before he finally got the job.
Mm-hmm.
He was only working there for a year. He was a syndication associate and portfolio banker, and he got word that he was going to get let go, and he snapped.
Wow. It was too much for him to bear.
We're not in his shoes, so it's hard to tell. But once again, when guns are involved, it's too easy. Guns make things too easy. Way too easy.
Wow.
It's just not the same as having to make a bomb or go in there with a knife or something of that nature. Guns make things easy.
Wow.
All across the board. For cops, for just everything associated with guns ever since they've been around. It was supposed when you add in people that have mental struggles and issues, and there's no proper way to make sure those kinds of people don't own one, because they don't have to get one legally, they can get one in the underground, on the black market. It's, if someone really wants one, they can find a way to get one. And unfortunately, it's so easy, especially in this country. I think it was also there's been 146 mass shootings so far this year, I believe, and at least 15 since the start of April.
Wow.
So it's, and then the whole Tennessee issue, people trying to get their voices heard and people blowing them off in the political seats, and people are getting in an uproar over these guns. And this was done by, from what I saw in the reporting, by an AR-15 semi-automatic.
Okay.
So single shot.
Exactly. But my thing is, I don't want to get sidetracked and start talking about, guns. I want to talk about the situation that we're talking about right now, because if we're going down the alley of guns,
mental health,
it's going to change the whole conversation.
The lack of mental health access, and this person probably was stressed out to no ends. And I remember me and my sister was talking on the phone. We were crying as we were talking and stuff, talking about my uncle.
Mm-hmm.
and how he was asking for help and stuff. And I know my dad knew something was wrong. But knowing my dad, he probably said, either go get help or just blew it off.
Mm. Wow.
So thinking about something like that, how many times did he probably reach out for help and nobody showed him any compassion?
Mm-hmm.
That happens a lot more than we want to acknowledge.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Good point. Good point. Rico, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
I can't complain, man. Just happy to see another beautiful new day. How y'all doing?
Hey, doing good. Doing good. Good to have you, brother. Asking a question. We're talking about the Louisville, Kentucky situation at the bank. Young man got word he was about to be terminated. And Badger just said that he had interned 3 years and finally got the job. He was there for a year, and they was going to terminate him. And what happened was he went in and shot up the place. Killed. To this point, 5 people has died. A lot of others are injured. And then turned the gun and killed himself. Shot and killed himself. Asking the question, was it a cowardly act for him to go in there and shoot up those people like that? Second part, was it a cowardly act for him to not serve justice or be placed before justice and kill him and take himself out? Do you think it was a cowardly act, Rico, or what do you think it was?
I didn't understand that second part about being placed before justice and killing himself.
Well, my thing is, instead of killing himself, taking that route, should he have placed himself before justice and be charged for what he did? Or was it a cowardly act just to kill himself and not have to go through that process?
I mean, you know, some people say you're a coward if you kill other people and don't kill yourself.
Mm.
I mean, you know, I just don't want to throw that word around just because, you know, that's a label that we could use.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, really and truly, I don't want to call it bravery or cowardly. I'm gonna say it was, you know, sadistic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say it was a mental issue. I mean, you know, I don't want to put that on now. Go to judge and are trying to tighten his name or whatever. I mean, the act itself is enough to, you know, get enough negativity out of. You know, once again, it gets down to the fact of
Do you think it was a mental issue? Do you think he had mental issues, or do you think a person that do something like that would have to, quote unquote, have to be mentally in some kind of way?
It's always a mental issue when you do something like that. Even if you might be justified, somewhere you still snap.
Mm-hmm.
You still lost it and decided to take life and do something drastic and extreme.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so yeah, it's always a mental issue. You know, it's just the thing is if we ever get to a point where killing a mass number of people isn't a mental issue, we have to ask ourselves, do we have a mental issue?
Come on.
Think about it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously it is. But sometimes we justify wars and killing innocent people and dropping atomic bombs and calling it collateral damage. I think that's mentally ill.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's a mental issue when you killing people in mass numbers like that. It's extreme, and especially if they're innocent. But
wow,
I mean, it's hard for me to say if it was justified or not. I mean, I have seen situations where people work in hostile environments where it's completely just corrupt and degenerate. But you know, you have a choice: either you're gonna clean it up and do something about it legally, or you'll lose your mind. But that just goes to show you how fragile the mind is.
Mm-hmm.
You take somebody that's good and righteous and may have worked 3 years as an intern, probably 3 years longer than they should have, or maybe 2 years longer than they should have. Maybe they saw other people get promoted before them, and they got fed up. You know, I did a song one time called "Fed Up." They got fed up, and maybe he took his frustration out on some people that actually had been causing them harm. Maybe they had been holding them back. Maybe they had been ripping other people off. Maybe they had been stealing other people's money. I don't know why he did it. But the thing is I know somewhere in his passion and in his anger, it showed just how the consequences behind being over passionate and tying anger in with it. I mean, you know, and we talked about that yesterday. Just think about how we don't even really mention that today, but that ties a lot into this conversation of what he did. Somewhere that man was passionate about something, and he showed it in his anger, and we see the consequences.
Wow.
But and if we as a society don't know how to tie in everything we talk about or everything we witness every day in life, then somehow we might end up talking in circles about things and just doing that, just talking. not
Mhm.
being able to even relate or solve problems or recognize these issues before they happen. But this is definitely tying into what we talked about yesterday. I was just
Yeah.
wondering, was anybody going to even mention that? That was a very passionate person and an angry person. That's passion or anger and passion right there.
Yeah. Time interwoven together. Interwoven together. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me go to my sister. She's here this morning. Shanavia. Good morning, young lady. How you doing this morning?
And I'm good. How y'all doing this morning?
Hey, doing good. Good to have you, sister. What do you hear in this whole situation? What is it a cowardly act for him to go in there and do what he did to those people? And second part, was it a cowardly act for him to turn the gun on himself and kill himself instead of being placed before justice? What do you say? What do you say to that? And well, I'm not even gonna lead you. What do you say to that?
I think that until we're put in those positions, it's easy for us to say, and I hope none of us, ever find ourselves in that position.
Mhm.
But it's easy to say what we would and wouldn't do whenever we're not walking in those shoes because we don't know what took place that led up to that. I mean, I heard Badger and Rico's response prior to, but everybody's entitled to their opinion. I mean, I agree with Rico. I can't say it was cowardly or not. I feel like it's a sad situation, and we don't like to. Mental health doesn't get the spotlight or the recognition as to how detrimental we are in this society and a need for continued access to it until a crisis is involved with it.
Mhm.
Like we don't talk about mental health or how we desperately need more access to it until it's tied to a tragedy. And then, it's just like, okay, well, what happened? Was there something that happened at work? Everybody doesn't have the same resilience. Some of us grew up with survival skills. Some of us grew up with nothing.
Mhm.
And this is someone that I see that reacted to a stressful situation that instead of responding to a stressful situation. When we
Mhm.
react, it's impulsive, it's instant. There's no thought process to it. There's no time for the brain and the body to get on one accord. I'm thinking it and I'm doing it.
Mm.
But what else
Wow.
led up to that? So we live in a society where a majority of people react to situations rather than respond to situations. And I think this goes to show how we need to be more mindful of even in our businesses. I feel like, thinking about it now, I really feel like that whenever you are about to terminate someone for whatever reason, I think that there needs to be an exit plan for that individual. And some people may feel like that's just too much because you're an adult, you should be able to handle it. Just because you can handle it or just because I can handle it don't mean that they can handle it.
Yeah.
Okay, what's going on with you first? I honestly feel like just like you would do an exit interview when someone is leaving the job, I feel like the same thing needs to be put in place because maybe, just maybe, as companies, they could come up with some type of solution to where let me make sure that you get some additional help on your way out. Let me see what we can do as a company, being that we're taking away your livelihood. We don't know what that man had going on. We don't know how many miles he had to feed. We don't know any of that. And I'm not trying to make him the victim. I'm just trying to paint the picture as a whole together.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I think that we got to do something different because if nothing changes. And this is going to be a continued cycle.
Exactly.
And we're going to continue to blame it on the guns. We're going to continue to blame it on mental health. But we have this information. We have tons of information. But what are we doing it? We're not using it. We're not executing and following through with the information that we have.
Mhm. What do you think the next step should be now that this is absolutely happening and 5 people are dead? And a couple of days ago, you had another mass shooting. About 3 or 4 days ago, you had another mass shooting. And so they're happening back to back to back. What do you think at this point, Shanavia, what do you think needs to happen?
That's a good question. And I honestly do not have an answer for you right now, other than the fact of taking what we already know. Because what I don't want to get, and I understand why it could be associated as a mental health disorder. What I don't want is for that to cop out.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
oh well they must have shot them because they had them in, yes, they may have had a break in their cognitive mind. They may have had a break, but does that always make them someone that has mental health issues? Because then we paint people that come into my office in the same light as that, and we automatically put everyone in a category to where, oh well, if you go to a therapist and if you have mental health issues, then you're just 1 second away from like killing us all. So I don't want to paint that. I really think that we need education and follow through on that education. Intention, execution, and follow through. We're not doing that. We're not taking the information that we have, executing, coming up with a plan, and following through on said plan. We're just sitting on information. Some of us have solutions. What that solution is, I don't know, because it's not a one size fits all, and it's not a quick fix thing. I mean, we could go into 15 different directions just on that question alone. But how to fix it, other than what I just said, I have absolutely no clue. But I know that there has to be some follow through somewhere, because this is going to be a continued issue.
Absolutely.
And it's not just mental health, and it's not just the gun. Like, yeah, I wish I had a fix, but I don't. I honestly don't.
Good deal. I love the answer that you gave. Cassandra, what's on your heart?
Can I throw something in on the end of that shit? Because on that question you asked,
yeah, go ahead.
About, you know what I think we need, because this is something that I noticed that in most situations, the people that have the power to address it, they don't acknowledge these things. What influenced or motivated that situation, that act? What influenced or motivated them to go and pick up the gun and do what they did? Because 9 times out of 10, it's possible that they had been going along doing everything smoothly every day, but what triggered them? You know, was it a movie? It reminds me of what Joe Biden said about, we just want to get the super predator off the street. I don't care what created them. I just want it off the street. And that's what it seems like happens with situations like these. Nobody really likes to acknowledge what influences these people to go ahead. You know, it's one thing that what's causing the break or the problem that they may have. But what influenced them to say, hey, pick up this gun and shoot as many of them as you can?
Yeah.
Sounds like a good idea. And I think when we do go back to look to see what influenced these people, game manufacturers and movie makers and song makers will get mad, because some of these people that do these things will tell you that they were influenced by lyrics from songs or from playing video games or for watching movies. They got the idea. They were motivated from seeing John Wick shoot up a club full of people.
What make them think it's okay?
Thank you.
Absolutely. Cassandra?
Yeah, I'm with Navy. I don't know what the answer is, but I know that we have to care enough about people. See, nobody wants to do anything until it comes knocking at their door.
Yes,
that's the thing, and that's sad. But most of your organizations that fight against gun or for mental health, these people had to wait until it came to their door, and then they were like, "Oh my God, they killed my child," and then they want to do something. We have to become more proactive in figuring out, what is happening, what is causing, just like Rico said, what is causing people to flip like this. You know what I'm saying? Because most people just don't wake up that morning and say, hey, I think today I'll go in and take out, as many people as I can on my job.
Yeah.
Something, you know what I'm saying? There were thoughts behind some of these acts, and some were totally premeditated. They wrote out a whole plan of what they were going to do. We have to figure out what is triggering people, and then start finding solutions.
Exactly. Yeah, and like Navy said, man, there's a lot of footage, there's a lot of material that you can use and that you can draw from, but it's, for whatever reason, it's just not being used. Ryan, what's on your heart, brother?
I don't really know what to say. This is I know that don't come easy out of my mouth, but this is a redundant topic. It's one we've talked about in excess, and it goes through so many pathways with the mental health topic, which we talk about all the time, and I mean it's gun violence. It happens every day. It seems to get worse every day anymore.
And that's a part of the problem. That's a part of the problem right there, Ryan. It never goes away. And so how do you stop talking about it when three happened this week? 3 has happened this week. It's Tuesday. Tuesday. 3 has happened already this week. How do you not talk about it? It's a problem. It's a problem.
It is a problem. So we could be like other countries and get rid of weapons like guns. But then you look at the UK, more people died of knife violence than died of gun violence here. That's an actual statistic. If you go look it up, people get chopped up more with a knife because they don't have access to guns. So what do? Take away knives. All right. So what's next? Let's take away cars. It's not about the item, it's the person.
Do you think in this country, Ryan, and I'm throwing some questions out there, based on what you said, but do you think in this country we'll really, truly ever get rid of all the guns?
No, it'll never happen. And that's the problem. People need to understand when you talk about gun control or gun confiscation, you start removing the guns out of hands of everyday citizens, what's going to happen? The crook's going to have guns and nobody else going to have guns. And that's going to create an even bigger problem, right? Because they're still going to get them. They're still going to bring them in the country. That's how they do it now, right? So I think that, one, we have too many people with mental health problems that need to be fixed. And 2, we've stopped education. We don't do education on weapons and what they're actually capable of anymore. They used to teach year-long courses in archeries and gun classes.
How do we fix the mental illness situation? How do we fix that problem?
Make help more readily available to people that need it, the people that want to get better, and the people that don't, well, they'll weed themselves out in the end, I guess. You can't force a horse to drink from water. You know what I mean? Like if you know you feeling some kind of way and you feel like you need some help, go get some help. I know that's easier said than done because we don't have don't have the capable number of people out there or willing to take on that field. It's just like being an officer. There's tons of officer positions out there, but like we talked about before, nobody wants to fill those roles because either they scared or they don't want to have that negative connotation on their life, being called a Uncle Tom or being called a racist or whatever. So people don't want to fill that role. They're too scared. Like, I have a problem. Like, I think everybody's too soft. People don't want to do mental health because they're too soft to want to help other people. People don't want to be a cop because they're too soft and people's words hurt them, or they're too scared to get their hands dirty. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to make it sound derogatory, but the way that the world is moving to where everything that somebody say to you makes you cry, that's a problem. They're pushing mental health issues by pushing that words hurt. I was raised that sticks and stones break bones, not words. You know what I mean?
It's a different generation, brother. It's a different generation. Let me go to Toya with a T. Toya, what's on your heart? We got another caller. We're going to go to that caller next. What's on your heart, Toya?
Yeah, no, it's not. That's the point. It's a different generation because we're not teaching them nothing. That's like what I said in the chat. If you go privileged, used to having your way, your mother and your father always gave you everything, never told you what you couldn't have. As soon as you can't get the girl, you're going to go shoot it up. As soon as you can't get your way, you're not like their work, you're going to go shoot it up. So again, I got to reel this back in because I felt both of these ways, right? I still knew, even in my deepest days of depression when I wanted to hurt myself, and even at my highest fits of rages when I wanted to go hurt the men that hurt me. You understand what I'm saying? There's always a split second when you know what the heck is going on, man. And I had to stop a lot of times. Like, wait, right? Wait. I know the satisfaction and the soothing it would do, but it was still a trick. And I'm going to say that it was a possession. All right. Has nothing to do with the outside world. You can send me to counseling. You can do it, right? But I have learned, again, after being delivered, a certain kind of spirit behind those things, right? Godmom got shot by her husband, right? After he shot her, he shot himself, right? Before that, he was not
Hey, Toya.
Yeah.
Toya, your volume is real choppy right now. I don't know whether you know.
I'm probably that's because I'm in the shower, but
okay.
I was in a bathroom with the shower, but no, this individual that shot her wasn't deemed to have any kind of mental problem, right? But if that's the case, when we talk about traits and behaviors, some of the traits and behaviors that he displayed kind of equal up to this. And because I can't have you, no one can. I want to hurt you.
Wow.
Right? You understand what I'm saying? So it's not about people displaying that there's an actual mental problem. Because some people get up, they function, they go to work every day, everything. And when you read certain comments about this dude, they say, oh, well, he seemed fine. He was laid back, real cool or whatever. But again, we have to think about the what made it happen as a human. As a human, if you walk into a room with your wife in a bed with someone else, we understand how some people shoot the person and the wife. We're not justifying it, but what we are saying is that we do understand why people or what may have triggered that person to do that, even if it's not justified. So I think even in this situation, we need to stop and think, okay, you did this, what was the trigger? Is it really, if this man went to go get his bachelor's degree, it was really games? I'm glad I don't play games. But it was really games, right? It was really watching John Wick. I love John Wick. I love superhero movies. What I be feeling like Spider-Man myself sometimes. I want to jump outside walls, but I don't do it. Right? You know what I'm saying? So again, what's the real influence? And if the influence is something that we find out is being triggered by our government because they want to cause something to happen, stories like what we're used to hearing, they want to cause something to happen. So now they have these experiments to see what ways make people do what, you know what I'm saying? So again, we really need to leave this playing field open because as a human that has been in some tense and stressful situations, right, that break of reality on you doing it and not doing it, could it possibly be driven by a force other than yourself? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. Wow. I mean, there's so many different levels on this, what we're talking about right now. I know everybody got some input they want to put into it before we move to another topic, and we will move to another topic in just a few minutes. But Monique, are you there? Good morning, Monique. How you doing this morning?
Good morning.
Monique, I need to hear your heart on this. Was it a cowardly act first for him to go in there and shoot up those people, and then to turn the gun and instead of standing up to justice and being held accountable for what he did, he took himself out? Was that a cowardly act?
Yeah, I believe it was. When I was reading up on the story, it sounded like it said that he was going to get fired.
Yes.
And,
yes.
Which and from my experience in working in a bank, it's odd to me because normally if they're gonna fire you, they don't tell you. They don't tell you. They normally they'll normally take you to a whole entirely different branch where they act like, hey, we got to come, we got to talk to you about something. So it sounds like, for him to react that way, it must be was a lot of talk, going on, and he probably, could have started feeling some way because he directed it at, specific people, and they said that all the people were like, top people. And it, to me, it's almost like it was some arrogantness there, and embarrassment maybe, and selfishness,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and not having good conflict, you know, resolution.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, you know, he- you know, not to be mean, but he probably could have just, you know, just, you know, looked at it himself and not, you know, pointed that out to other people.
Yeah.
But I think somebody mentioned something about the sticks and stones.
Mm-hmm.
I think that uh, we need to, you know, maybe go back to that. You
Yeah.
know, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt. Because I do notice that, you know, there's a lot of sensitivity going on, and we,
Yeah.
you know, we have triggers. You know,
Mm-hmm.
people have triggers and they lashing out and don't know how to handle them.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's mental health or not addressing some of the issues that we have. You know, may it be childhood trauma or um, just things that we never addressed.
Mm-hmm.
And
Let me,
that's all I have on that.
and that's good. That's good. And you posed something in my mind. I want to ask Navy this question. I'm gonna go to Tucson and then Rico. Navy, trauma, childhood trauma. Is that another form, or can that be even categorized as a mental illness? If you've been mistreated so badly in the childhood, and you're carrying that, then something triggers that. A story. Let me tell you this quick little story. Then I want to get your input on it. I said this story you heard before. A young lady. She was growing up, and she was molested as a child. And she's a little African American young lady, but she was molested by one of our Caucasian brothers. And every time he would do it, he would call her a nasty black bee. You nasty black bee. And he molested her throughout her childhood. She became an adult, became a counselor. And when she became a counselor, she was counseling children. And one day, one of the children was acting up, and they called her to go see about the little boy that was acting up. And in the course of that, he called her a nasty black bee. And before she knew it, she beat the little boy almost to death. Not because of what he did or well, I guess it was because of what he said, because what he said took her back to her childhood when she was being molested by that adult. So can you carry that, or is that mental illness, or how would you categorize that?
Childhood trauma is mental illness.
Wow.
I just think that we have such a
So
narrow
they are the
view
same. They
of
are the
what we
same.
consider. Sir.
They are the same.
Yes, sir. I mean, I think, and again, I think we have such a narrow view
Mm-hmm.
of what one, trauma is or isn't, and two, what we think mental health is or isn't. And something that I said in one of the workshops that I was doing is that our trauma is literally a TBI to our brain.
Mm-hmm.
We only consider someone having a traumatic brain injury whenever they're hit with a blunt force object or whenever there has been physical damage to the brain. But whenever you experience trauma, that literally re-alters your brain. It rewires your body.
Wow.
You're not the same once you experience trauma. That amygdala,
Mm-hmm.
your body's fire alarm system, and the way that you go into your sympathetic nervous system in that fight or flight mode, some of us don't know. And that's why we have to be very careful when we link mental illness with crisis and disasters like this, because it puts everybody in the category. Mental health and trauma has many, many layers to it.
Mm-hmm.
You also have to factor in, was I given proper coping skills? That baby, even though she became a counselor herself, maybe she didn't unpack her suitcase. One of the things that I had to do before I graduated as half of my grade was to go to 6 therapy sessions, because my professor told me, if you can't unpack your suitcase, and how you go help somebody else unpack theirs, because you're going to be triggered. You need to be able to deal with your trauma before you go in dealing with somebody else's, because it alters you. You're not the same person. It's literally a TBI, but we don't think of it in that way. And therefore, a lot of us don't treat it in that way. We're so busy treating what we think the symptoms are or trying to quote unquote fix the person. They're not broken. They just think of your AC unit need to be re-regulated. They need to be re-regulated because the world around them has become one big trigger and one big trauma org. They don't know safety. They have to relearn that. So yes, sir. Childhood trauma is mental illness, but it's a different layer of it.
Now, this young lady, the story that I told Navy, that situation happened when she was a little girl, and now she's an adult, going through school, a counselor, very successful. But when this little boy said that to her, those words, can it be just the reverbalizing those words put her in that place? And what would make her act in the way that she acted towards the little boy?
She was triggered, and I also just locked myself out of my house. Can you come back to me, Mr. Raheem? I am literally locked out right now.
Lord,
I am so sorry. I will answer the question, but I have got to get back into my house right quick.
Exactly. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Go ahead, Basil.
So trauma hijack. It's called hijacking the brain, where it almost puts you back into that kid, into that moment. It's not a fun experience.
Wow.
It's like reliving it all over again as you're dealing with the in the moment situation. And you can react, if I remember correctly, it's fight, flight, or fawn. Fawn is you literally just go into this nice person and you just go along with everything. Flight is you just want to run from the situation, and everyone knows what fight is. And I've seen different versions of it. I've seen all three.
Wow.
With my wife, with myself, with other people, depending on the levels of trauma. It's its own flavor. Everything with mental health is a spectrum. You know, and with all my work of being a mental health advocate in Texas, I have come to learn how much we lack it and how much we're having to fight for it. For people to get therapy, and it's harder for men to get it than it is women at times, depending on the situation. And it's if you don't have health insurance to afford a therapist, you're in trouble.
Wow.
And then depending on your age, that adds another factor. Everything is considered an asset that you have. So if you're working at, depending on the jobs you're working at, if you go to college and get a degree, you have to worry about having to pay back all that debt. And if you spend 5 years, going to college to get a degree to do a particular job, and then you lose it, what are you supposed to do now? You can't go to a McDonald's or a Walmart or something and make that kind of money to pay off your debt, pay for a house, pay for a car, and all your bills. It's not enough money. That's a whole nother level of stress. So that's why I said earlier, if we're not in that person's shoes or walking in a person's shoes that's committing these very messed up situations of mass shooting and stuff, and then you hear Rico talking about the games and the movies and the TV shows and all that stuff. I come across things every day that I've been talking with Navy about, triggering the what is that chemical in the brain? It's the one that ADHD people deal with. I don't know if it's dopamine or the other one. It might be dopamine. But now they've coming out with games that people I have come across fellow gamers that if it doesn't have a certain amount of graphics or frame rates, they get headaches if it's too slow. They're
Wow.
so addicted to that fast frame rate.
Mm-hmm.
And our TV shows have it too. Some of the new cartoons that come out have an extremely high frame rate, and it triggers different parts of the brain. Different sounds trigger different parts of the brain. Then you add in trauma, autism, ADHD, schizophrenia, bipolar, which they're starting to find out that most people with bipolar have trauma. And bipolar might actually not be a diagnosis by itself, but might stem from having traumatic experiences.
Mm-hmm.
And
Wow.
it comes from the hijacking of the brain. So
Mm-hmm.
mental health is not a joke. We just unfortunately deal with a large group of people that think it costs too much to make sure people have access to it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Wow.
then there are those that if they ever do get access to it, you can't make them.
Mm-hmm. Good deal. Good deal. Tucson, talk to me. Rico, coming to you next.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
let me
Uh-oh.
say this. I'm about this close to going off all the
Lord
time.
Jesus. Mm-hmm. How close?
About this close.
Okay.
I mean, let me ask the question. When was the last time anybody's employee called him in the office and says, "Are you okay?
Mm-hmm.
Do you need somebody to talk to, or not trying to get, but how's it going with you? I'm not talking about the job. I'm talking about you as a person.
Mm-hmm.
When was the last employee that you had that took their employees in and says, "Come in, let's just don't worry about what we got to do today. Let's just sit down and talk. We're gonna get to work later on,
Mm-hmm.
but let's just have us a little chat. How's the workforce? How's this job to you? Is there any challenges that you're facing? Is there
Mm-hmm.
some difficulties that you're having with this job?" When was the last time that happened?
It hasn't. It hasn't. It hasn't.
I'm telling you right here, I'm about this close.
Mm-hmm.
But if I don't go on the inside of who I am, I'm about this close to going off.
Mm-hmm.
Because people, and I don't mean any harm by saying this, I'll just say what I'm saying because I'm saying what I'm saying. People stupid. People are selfish, and they're mean, and they nasty, and they ugly, and they treat people bad,
Mm-hmm.
and they manipulative. They arrogant, stubborn. We live in a world where Brian's right now. People crying about everything.
Mm-hmm.
You hurt my feelings. Just about this close to going off.
Watch this. Well, maybe they did.
Well, maybe they did. That's why I'm just about this close to going off. And there's a bunch of people like that because nobody said to them, "You want to talk?
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything wrong? You having problems? Is there anything that I can do to help you succeed? Is there a period between, okay, now we got a problem because we've been observing your work ethics,
Mm-hmm.
and we have a problem. So the part of the process is we got another step that we're willing to take to help you succeed, rather than, hey man, here's what people do on the job. Hey man, they talking about terminating you.
Mm-hmm.
You got it coming, buddy.
They about to let you go
with your crazy self. Then they have the nerve to follow it up with your crazy self.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, on the job, That's why I don't get to the job early. And when the job is over with, I leave.
Yeah.
And I don't hang around.
Mm-hmm.
Because the conversations that happen prior to the job and after the job, oh no, and we ain't going out for a couple of drinks. No, sir. Wrong answer. No, you're not invited to my house.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nope. See you at the store. Hello. Hey, how you doing, man? It's good to see you. All right. Holla at you.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know how you act at the job.
Yeah.
And you ain't my friend.
Mm-hmm.
You don't act like it. Because you're getting in there and you're plotting and you're planning and you're scheming and you're doing all kind of things because Uncle Johnny got you that job and you think you untouchable.
Mm-hmm.
So here's this guy, and I'm not trying to analyze. I'm wrong as two left shoes. That's okay. I've been wrong before.
Mm-hmm.
But here's this guy that the word got out that he's gonna get terminated, but nobody knows he just been diagnosed with cancer. He gonna die anyway.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
People do some things in this soft world that we living in, that everybody's feelings and emotions are at a level of I can blow up at any moment.
Mm-hmm.
All like that. And we have to stop. And we have to look within ourselves and find out if there is a better way that we deal with each other on a daily basis. Otherwise, this gonna keep happening. It's not gonna get any better.
Yeah.
You don't need no gun. You don't need no knife. I'll choke you with my hands. I'll choke you to death.
Good Lord.
Sorry, man. Go to somebody else. But you know I'm right now.
Hey, look at here, man. Let's pause you, man, because
wait a minute, Raheem. Look, I'll put something in your drink and kill you.
Lord Jesus.
They had one guy, and I'm gonna shut up around here. I promise I'm gonna shut up. They had one guy that got upset with his supervisor because the supervisor was on him hard. You know what he did to him?
What you do?
He had to get it before he got there. He put eye wash. I think it was Visine or something in the coffee. That'll do something to you. And before the supervisor could drink it, he had to hurry up and change his mind and pour it out.
Wow.
Because I'm gonna start like I had a little parable or something. Because I'm just about this close to going off.
Was he passionate or was he arrogant? Don't even answer that. Rico, what's on your heart, brother?
You know, in order for this system to succeed and for the train to keep on rolling, the system can't afford for you to be worried about you making it slow down. Pull up your bootstraps and get yourself together. We got a job to do. We got to make some money. We got to make this thing continue going. And in that process, you know, what happens is we create an environment of a dog-eat-dog world where don't nobody care about what you got going on at home. Don't nobody care nothing about your personal business. We got a job to do. And so somehow that has become more important than the concern of a person's well-being, which that should be most important.
Yeah. Yeah.
The well-being of humans should be most important, starting from birth until death. Your well-being, mentally and physically. But see, in capitalism and in a dog-eat-dog world, in this system, your mental well-being comes second.
It does.
You might not get enough days off. We can't afford to let you have as many days off. You miss too many days because you got a health emergency or you need to go home and take care of your children that might be behaving or misbehaving. You're going to get fired. Words do hurt.
Yeah.
Sometimes words can have you put in prison for life and getting electrocuted, getting death sentences for something you didn't do. Or it may cost you your job because somebody used some words to lie on you, and that influence from those words helped them to keep a job while they was the ones doing the stealing and misappropriating, and you lost your job.
Come on.
Now all of a sudden I got to fight these charges. I'm innocent. No. We heard you was stealing. We heard you was touching children. All these accusations, man, words hurt, man. It's a lot of people dead from these words. So I mean, you know, in this day and time, it's easy to say that we should toughen up. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes people understand the words that are being said can have a very huge impact on them, a detrimental impact, an impact that they can't afford to have. Man, listen, I can't afford to lose my job because y'all keep on accusing me of this mess just because y'all feel like I'm the scapegoat. I'm the one y'all need to pick on. And we do have that clique mindset. We have that mindset where people really don't care about the next person's well-being. Yep. They team up, they click up at work, you know what I'm saying? And then they form these little organizations, and all of a sudden they start singling you out, and supervisors start messing with you. And Donald said something. Employers don't ask you, hey, what's going on with you?
At all.
Only thing they concerned with is making sure that that machine is running and that they ain't getting no downtime. And that, you know what I'm saying, they got to do the process to keep the system in place.
Exactly.
So I mean, we got to understand, man, that mental well-being, you really catch that at youth. I mean, to be honest, if you really want to sort of find out who could have guns and who couldn't, you could go all the way back to school and think about, in school you had two things that you were graded on: your education and your conduct. And that conduct grade, that SN or U, pretty much showed how you handle conflict resolution, how you can deal with other people, how you dealt with anger. I mean, it really pretty much was a judge of your character and your mental state, that conduct grade. To me, it was a very big indicator of where you were mentally. If you could act satisfactorily, non-satisfactory, or unsatisfactory. You know, so I mean, those conduct grades were big, but you got to understand that they came from the same teacher that was responsible for educating them with the curriculum of math, science, English, and social studies too. So you gotta not only have you got to teach these children, but you got to analyze them year after year to say that, you know, not only are they good and they're smart education wise, but they know how to conduct themselves like normal people too. And I think that's hard for a teacher to do. I think if we really wanted to start solving some of these problems, they could put behavioral specialists in each classroom, just like they would with a teacher. That behavioral specialist could actually concentrate on keeping the order of the class and working with the students that don't have any order and teaching them order, to get everybody on the page of where they know how to conduct themselves and have conflict resolution skills, problem solving skills on the same, I ain't gonna even say on the same level, but in a decent manner to where they stop acting out of order. Because sometimes this brain computer that has learned behavior, even if it's traumatic or dysfunctional, this learned behavior is also what is normal to these children from now on. So we ask, can that trauma from childhood carry on? Yes, we hear people say all the time, man, the reason why I don't do this and that because when I was young, or the reason why I don't whoop my children because when I was young, I got whippings all the time. Yeah, that was an influence on you. That was a trauma on you. And that stuck with you, and that made you who you were. That normalized the person that you would be from that point forward, your childhood experiences. So if you can't even get it right starting off at the beginning, the odds of you correcting it later on are much more complicated. It's a lot harder. So, I mean, if we don't catch these children at a young age, then, yeah, we're going to continue to see the problem that we have going on, because some of them don't know how to solve their problems. And then the way they do solve them is by the way of Call of Duty or Grand Theft Auto.
Wow. 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We'd love to have your input. We're asking the question, was it a cowardly act? Was it a cowardly act? And we're actually going to switch the topic. But before we do that, I got to go to this young lady right here. Willow!
Hey, Raheem. Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
Morning Glow.
How you doing this morning?
Raheem, I am awesome. I'm doing good this morning.
Good deal. What are you hearing? The guy that did the shooting at the bank in Louisville, Kentucky, killed right now, from what they're saying, is 5 people that died, a lot others injured. Then he turned the gun on himself and killed himself. Was that a cowardly act for him to kill those people? And second part of the question, was it a cowardly act for him to point the gun at himself and kill himself instead of standing up for the justice of what he has done? What do you say to that, Willa?
Well, you know what, Raheem, I can't say that it was a cowardly act, but I know it was a horrible act.
Mm-hmm.
because he killed himself. People that, when they say they're going to commit suicide, they, tell people whatever. And then, that's just a way of them trying to escape. But I've been listening to to Morning Glow, and everybody's just nailing it to the T,
Mm-hmm.
because it comes down to our mental health. Something could have been going on with that young man. I don't know. I don't know the place. I don't know what happened as far as who he was talking to. I do know that I have seen somewhat of that kind of behavior. When I
Mm-hmm.
was working at my job for 30 years, there was this man who had been in the Army, and he had got fired, and he blamed his co-workers who was working with them. And he always said that he was going to get them. He said it.
Mm-hmm.
He took a bullet and brought it to the job and took it in the office and laid it on his boss' desk.
Wow.
He told him, he said, the next time it won't be by itself. So at that point, they had him arrested. He was put in a mental institution for a while. They didn't keep him that long, but he was in there for a few years. But he got out. And when he got out, Raheem, I thank God that we were surrounded by a gated fence. The man came back up to the job.
Good Lord.
Came up there. Now, yeah, he did. He came back up there to the job.
Mm-hmm.
And so when he came back up there to the job, we saw him through our cafeteria window, and he was looking in the window. But we knew he was looking for certain people. I mean, a lot of people laugh at this, and
It's
but
not
it's
funny.
not funny till
No.
something actually happened.
No.
And they got him again, and they put him back in a mental institution. I haven't heard anything since then.
Mm-hmm.
But I said that to say, we got to understand when people say certain things, you've got to listen. That's why people are now pushing on these jobs. See something, say something,
Mm-hmm.
because they know it's real.
Yeah.
And sometimes they put people into position that triggers certain things in people's minds because they don't understand when they're a manager or a supervisor that they need to talk to people like they're human.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they talk to people like they belittle or, somebody ain't working up to their part and they talk down on. So you got to be careful
Mm-hmm.
in how you do that, because you don't know what's on somebody's mind. You don't
Exactly.
know, especially the quiet ones.
Mm-hmm.
Quiet ones, what you really got to watch out for.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's on my heart, Raheem.
Good deal. Good deal. Let me go to Ryan. Ryan, what's on your heart, brother?
So, just the extra. Sorry. I'm thinking about what Donald was saying about jobs, right? And how they don't ask. So the company that I work for, they do ask. I ask my guys every day if they're acting off. Hey, what's going on? You need to download something? Come on outside. We'll talk. That's just me. But that's company wide. That's a policy
Mm-hmm.
that if you see something off, me as a supervisor, it's my job to talk to you and try and see what's going on. See if it's something I can help you with. If you're having trouble getting to work on time, what's causing you to be late? I'm asking these questions, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at some point, you have to draw a line, right? Like the one cat I had, he was tardy in a 3-month period 42 times. And HR was like, you got to stretch it out. You got to stretch it out. You got to stretch it out. And then when I finally fired him, what'd he do? He went in the office and said, he fired me because he racist.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first thing this man said.
Wow.
After I paid his cell phone bill for him out of my own pocket. I
Mm-hmm.
took him to lunch, bought him lunch, asked him how he was doing. Anything on the street I can help you with? Your clothes seem kind of dirty. You come to work and people complaining because your clothes, they the same every day. It's not getting any better. You're not washing them, like it's visible, right? And at that point, when I have other employees complaining, I have to say something.
Yeah.
So I asked him, yo, listen, I see you late all the time. You're not really taking care of yourself. Is it something I can help you with? You need some place to crash. You need some place to wash clothes. I'm trying to help this guy out. And the first thing he do, go call me a racist when I terminate him after being tardy for 42 times.
Wow.
Like, I'm just thinking about what Donna was saying. Yeah, we got to do those things. As a person, you should want to do those things, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what you should want to do.
Yeah.
But even still, me being an upstanding human being to this gentleman, still got to go there and drop that garbage when everybody in this facility know. And the HR lady just looked at him and was like, "Get out the building. You done lost your damn mind." Excuse my language.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's crazy to me that even when you go out on a limb and you try to be the best person that you can be to somebody, don't matter if it's the same color or a different color, whatever, that don't bother me. It don't mean nothing to me. But you try to do the best and be the best person because that's what everybody say that's what's going to fix things. And then what happens? That person's mental state is not on the same level as yours, so they still going to do something to you. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't, it's a people problem. It's a people problem.
Wow.
That's what I feel.
And I can't say that you're wrong, brother. I can't say that you're wrong right there. Toya with a T, talk to me, sis.
No, definitely a people problem, and as much as we have to hate to say it, it's a we problem, right? I think everybody has valid points, right? Managers that don't care, that's why I always wanted to be one. The person on the other side, because I know you don't never know what people are going through. I know what I've went through in life. I know the things that I've had to endure, even if at some time people might see me sane for a moment, but y'all know I'm not. But still. You know what I'm saying?
For a moment.
So I try to maneuver and bring the exact opposite out of people in life because I can just imagine. I know. And I just have a glimpse. When they said that people can be going through something else, that's exactly why I try to be the person that I try to be. Because we never know what's going on in somebody's mind. We never know, you know what I'm saying, how detrimental their life is. And we keep forgetting that we have to teach our kids this. We're not just going up and just know to have fortitude, to be strong, and don't cave into those feelings that may make you want to blow something up or do something to somebody. It's normal to feel like that when certain things arise. But the key is self-control. You cannot afford to have you in jail. You cannot afford to have a family and not be there. You cannot afford to throw your future and your life and your dreams out the window because a lack of self-control. You're going to be sad that you hurt someone out of an emotion that you took personal. And there's plenty of jobs out here, but we have to teach that to our kids. We can't expect them to just know. We can't just move out through life with them and just think, oh yeah, well, they should know that. No, life is a very tricky process. And if we're not taught and trained to maneuver in this world and how to be strong and how to get by and how to avoid the pitfalls that are obvious that my parents can't shelter me from, you've done your child an injustice if you haven't taught them that everyone is not going to like you. You've done them an injustice, you know what I'm saying? To think that everything is going to always go your way. And no matter, if you get accolades in school and if you're the coolest and the hottest and everything's going to be perfect. That's not true. You know what I mean? So I think that when we raise our children, that is a very key component to how we can stop some of this madness, because this madness is coming from a multitude of different influences, as we've discussed on here. Childhood trauma that's caused by who you're living with, TV, songs, music, movies, MK Ultras, right? You got all these influences, and not one time nobody just simply came to you and said, no, that's not how you react. You know what I'm saying? So some of this stuff, it starts, again, I'm going to go ahead and put the responsibility on the people. It starts with us. Until we really back in and train our kids how they need to navigate for all circumstances, prepare them, educate them on all arenas that we're facing today, it's going to continue to happen tomorrow.
Exactly. And it's not gonna stop. Excuse me. It's not gonna stop. Let me go to Cassandra, and then we're gonna go to Brother Pete. Got Pete with us on the phone line. So, Brother Pete, I'm coming to you after Cassandra. Cassandra, what's on your heart?
On this topic, nothing. I don't have anything else.
Cassandra, can it be fixed?
I believe it can be fixed, but until we are more open to understand people and see people where they are, and like on a job, I managed businesses for 17 years before I started teaching, and I always talked to the people that worked with me, and because they were never, I never felt like anybody was beneath me, or I talked in a condescending manner to people. It's all about how you treat people. And if you treat people with respect and with dignity and not a condescending type attitude, and nothing shuts me down more than for people to talk to me like I'm stupid or I'm inferior to them. That right there is going to shut off a conversation real quickly. And I treat people the way that I would want to be treated. I don't treat them, you need to toughen up, you need to do this, you need to do that. And the conversation that Ryan talked about with the guy at his job, I don't know if Navy is still on the line, but to me, it sounded like that person was having some serious mental health issues. I mean, and I don't know the person, I haven't been around it, but just from what Ryan said about them coming in unkempt, this, that, and the other, being late, lackadaisical, all of those to me are signs of some type of mental health issue.
Yeah.
So, Navy might can expand on that or, tell me what she thinks, but that's what it sounded like to me from just those few things that Ryan said about him. So we have to learn how to help people. If we say we're going to help, learn the signs of when someone is going through something. When people train people on jobs, they give them that little, 6-hour training or whatever on, talking to the person, spending some time. A lot of times people aren't even, they have no clue. They still have no clue about what is happening with that person because they just went through a training that was mandated and that's it. But as far as following through, most people, I'm just saying most people, they don't know how to do the follow through properly to really help the person that is in need. That's all I have to say. I'm sorry.
Absolutely. That's good. That's good. Let me go to Brother Pete, and we got Badger. He has something as well. But Pete, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, family. How we doing this morning? DKM Radio, Morning Glow panel, Facebook, the world. Tuning in to the Morning Glow on DKM Radio.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Asking a question about the killer, the shooter in Louisville, Kentucky. Went into the bank, got wind he was going to be terminated, went in, shot up the place, killed 5 people, a lot more injured, turned the gun on himself, and killed himself. Was that a cowardly act, brother?
It in a sense, yes. Could it be something deeper than that? Probably. The state of the world today, economically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, is disturbing for many to most. And the triggers are definitely at their highest points for individuals right now. We don't know. But when we sit down and we look at these things, that sounds like somebody who's having some serious issues, mentally or emotionally, probably financially. Could be relationship based as well. Pressure's there, and just feel like there's no hope. They're in the corner, and I don't have nothing to lose, and I'm just gonna come out swinging. And wherever the punches land, they land, right? And that's a bad state to exist in.
Exactly.
It really is. And as we look, I was taking an assessment yesterday and saying, we've heard all the time about how the Bible comes from this and that, and who wrote it, and the different versions, and the councils, and the blah blah blahs, and the woo woo woos. But that book have a some phrases, some scriptures and statements in certain areas where it talk about how individuals will be certain ways, without natural affection. And you keep seeing
Mhm.
examples of where there should be natural affection. It's not there. That's TP. That's tested and proven. It's amazing how it's telling us different conditions, and we're seeing the manifestation in live time of these different conditions, and they're so present. You never really know. It's so important to treat people like you want to be treated. When you're met with a degree of adversity, or some type of aggression, uh, adverse behavior, to really understand if it's not a life-threatening, physically threatening situation, how to handle that, because we really just don't know where people are,
Mhm.
what's going on with them, and the point of triggering is at an all-time high. So something slight, 5, 10, 15 years ago, can be interpreted as something extremely major today, and then result in catastrophe instantly.
Amen.
Mhm.
Anywhere. I
Yeah.
mean, like, it'll never happen here. Look here, that's exactly where it's getting ready to happen.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
right, right there, when you said this will never happen. Oh, okay,
Mhm.
so it's a peculiar thing. Is this a human behavior? Yes, but there's just so many added things to it. So I mean, the food we eat is detrimental. What is that doing? I don't know. I
Mhm.
mean, how negative is it? The medicine for folks taking. The medicine folks taking is in the water that you're drinking if you're drinking it out the faucet. So you're
Mhm.
taking medicine anyway by
Yeah.
default. Oh my
Yeah.
God. I mean, how many contributing factors can they be? But one thing, overall, get out the way, this society, we forget the foundation of a thing is the spirit of a thing.
Mhm.
This is a very sick society that we live in. This experience called USA. It's a very sick republic. The social engineering structure makes the conditions and sways the people a certain way.
Yes.
You can't continue to put on a mindset in the people that if you're done wrong, we will retaliate. If you feel like you've been done wrong, you have the right to get them back. If somebody you took a loss over here, you're gonna go back and be a winner anyway. I mean,
Mhm.
huh? And then it's by all means, by all efforts, any way possible. This is really the undercurrent of the social engineering in this society. And then you let us buy any type of gun, and you let anybody buy a gun. You see what I'm saying? Do we know conflict and resolution? Are we taught to be a calmer, more respectful, more spiritual society? Is that what we're
Mhm.
taught through
No.
the social engineering structure in this society? Or are
No.
we taught to be hostile, aggressive,
Mhm.
antagonistic, disrespectful, hateful?
They
Huh?
hit you, you better hit
Let's
them back.
separate ourselves and
They
choose
yeah.
sides.
Yeah. They
Come on.
hit
And
you,
then
you
we
better hit
wonder
them back.
why
Yeah,
we living in
exactly.
the jungle.
Mhm. And Pete, that's the idea. That's the mindset of you. They they hit you, boy, you better go hit them back. Go hit them back. That's what we taught. That's how it goes. Badger.
Man, Pete beat me to it. That's the direction I was gonna go. Is I've been having these debates with a lot of people lately about 30, 40 years ago versus today.
Mhm.
There is so much hate, bias, stigma, and it's so much more apparent. And a lot of it's due to technology and news media and gaming and just everything we come in contact with on a daily basis. I watched my oldest son. He want I think I've told y'all this before, but my boys wanted to grow their hair out. And in
Mhm.
my culture, there's nothing wrong with that. But my oldest son got so tired of people calling him a girl
Wow.
that he started to cut his own hair. And I had to make a decision to cut it for him because he couldn't make a decision. He just wanted people to quit calling him that.
Mhm.
And I had to sit down and explain to my autistic son that there are people in this world that don't have the same kind of manners, that say things, and he's like, well, why don't they just ask my name or ask before they assume? And I'm like, I don't know. They did when I was a kid, but they don't do that no more.
Mm-hmm.
They just assume. They pass judgment before knowing something. Or at least that's my observation.
Mm-hmm.
So having to teach, especially being someone that struggles with social dynamics, it's watching through my eyes how the world went from when I was a kid to where it is now. I remember when MySpace became a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And if you weren't careful of what you put on the internet on that MySpace, if anyone in that school had your account, the rest of the people had your account.
Mm-hmm.
And they'd use it against you. If you were too spiritual, if you were sharing education, if you like, people will attack each other more on the internet than I have ever seen in real life. People that are afraid of confrontation will be one of the first people that confront you for posting something positive on the internet, or post something that is educational. They'll sit there and accuse you of things and all kinds of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And this society is so twisted.
Yeah, it is.
And the more looking through my eyes, my experiences, and my views, we lost morals. We lost respect. We send our kids to school that are more focused on teaching how to pass the test, and you only get a handful of teachers in any school system that are actually focused on critical thinking, that are actually caring for their children, that are in their care while they are there.
Mm-hmm. Good deal.
Teachers are a parent to those kids in that school. They're not the biological parents, but
Mm-hmm.
they're still the teachers.
Good deal.
Teachers. So
Absolutely.
we have to understand that all of us have this responsibility of acknowledging the trauma that we all have to deal with across the board due to racism, classism, disabilities, mental health, and in this whole bias of, oh, just toughen up, ain't for everybody.
Exactly. Exactly. Let me go to Tucson. Tucson, what's on your heart, brother?
I would suggest
Uh-oh.
that we don't set our
Expectations.
no. Well, yeah, that too, but our children up for failure in a mean
Mm-hmm.
world. If I lived in a mean world, then I have to survive in it. I have to be a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
And oh, you hurt my feelings. Oh, Johnny, just don't say that to me.
In this world, there's much confusion. I've seen the city life, but it's not for me.
Raheem, let's go back to where we started at this beginning of this broadcast. How do you get to Carnegie Hall?
Man, you get on that plane and fly.
Practice. Or
Well,
you can get a ticket
well,
or a
the
job
golden ticket must be the golden ticket.
or a job.
This dude.
So no. But Raheem, look, you know, and I know, and there are some people that would have. I know maybe everybody might not agree with Ryan's comments, and I didn't miss the first part, the last part of what he said because I had to take my meds. Lord have mercy. That's another thing.
Lord.
I don't know what I'm taking.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know the reaction of what I'm taking, how it's going, I'm already mentally challenged.
So that's what's going on right now.
You ever noticed I'm mentally challenged?
I would not comment, brother. I would not
No, but
comment.
Raheem, look, you know, everybody's feelings are hurt these days.
Yeah.
You can now, and we live in a society that you can make your own choices. But your choices that you're making, somebody's gonna hurt your feelings. Somebody's not gonna like your lifestyle because of the choice you made. So the way that you live, man, sir, I'm sorry.
Don't like it for the choice that you made for yourself,
For
your
yourself.
life.
And when you get to that job, they're gonna let you know it. And you hurt. And you're mad.
In this world, there's much confusion.
And they don't care. They don't care about you. That's when it gets to the point where it get bad. Because you make your own decision. You get on a job in a mean world where people are manipulative, they're selfish, they're mean and nasty and hateful, and they talk about folk, they get involved in other folks' lives, they try to dictate how people live, and then they broadcast it. Then they get in the break room and they talk about it, and it blows up, and all of a sudden somebody say, oh, Billy finna get fired.
Lord Jesus.
And it's a joke.
But it's nothing to play with. But it's nothing to play with because you're talking about real lives.
This guy that we're talking about, maybe, I don't know, I'm not trying to analyze it, but this guy has had enough of having enough. And he's sick and tired of being sick and tired. And nobody has said, hey, Johnny, do you need to talk to somebody? Is there anything going on that we can help you with to resolve the issues that you are having on the job? Because I see that something is, I'm not trying to get involved in your life, but I'm trying to help you.
Johnny, you mad because your eye keep twitching? Why your eye twitching like that?
Okay. All right. You think it's funny, buddy, but when I get off,
why your eye
I want you to know that I done had enough of you.
But Johnny, your eye. Why your eye twitching like that? Willow.
You're so stupid.
Hey, Ryan. Good morning.
Good morning, Willow. What's on your heart? Talk to me. Two songs, something else, boy.
So, you know, I was thinking about when they was talking about the mental illness, you know, when I've lived with somebody who did have that. They had different personalities, and they had to take this medicine called Haldol, and they had given it to them in a shot. And the person said to me, you know, like when they were in their way, that was no kind of way to live because it would make them sleepy all the time. Maybe they were giving them too much of an overdose. But I said that because mental illness affects the person that doesn't have it as well.
Yes.
Sometimes you could get to a point where you could become so stressed because you haven't been taught how to deal with certain issues when it comes to mental illness. Like I got another case actually that's going on now, that the mom was so horrible to her son. He was an alcoholic, and he's in his 40s. And she would, you know, because he didn't do the right things or whatever, instead of her giving him help, she was hurting him because she was talking mean to him and you punk, blah, 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 all out his name, you know, along with the stress that he was already going through. It didn't help. And right now, today, Raheem, this young man is in the hospital, bedridden, with a feeding tube. It had overwhelmed him that bad, plus the alcohol had poisoned his system. So I said that to say that we as people need a support system as well when you're dealing with mental illness. Mental illness is not a joke. It's nothing for us to play with or laugh at. And someone said it earlier, we got to teach our children that sometimes life is not going to give you what you want. It's not going to always be good. You're gonna get the bad as well as the good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's our responsibility to help one another. Because I'm telling you, Raheem, mental illness is not a joke.
Absolutely.
And so we
Absolutely.
need to look at what everybody is saying and get something out of it and learn something, because somebody probably needs it right now.
Yeah,
They
absolutely.
need the help.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying, Raheem? So that's
Sure.
what I'm getting out of it. That's what I'm listening to, because I definitely went through it. And
Wow.
that's what's on my heart, Raheem.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Rico, the pressures of life. Not everybody deal with it the same way. And some people, it can really break them down to the point whereas these are your outcomes. What do you say to that? The pressures of life.
Repeat that, because it was freezing up when you were talking. Can you say that again?
Yeah, the pressures of life. It can be overwhelming to some people. The pressures of life could be overwhelming to some people, and not everybody's going to deal with it in the same way. And in some situations, some instances, you're going to have situations like this because of those pressures of life. What do you say to that?
It did it again, man. Can you? Well, okay, say the first part.
The pressures of life. The pressures of life can sometimes be overwhelming to people, and everybody deal with it differently.
Oh yes, no doubt, no doubt. I mean, I was telling somebody the other day, man, that the more I look at what's going on, we have a lot of people suffering from PTSD and bipolar and paranoid schizophrenia and anxiety, and they haven't even been diagnosed with it. I can honestly say, based off the way we have been conditioned to live and to succeed and born into this thing and dying, and it's being normalized, we are all under a spell and don't even realize it. We're all suffering from some type of I'm gonna say self-mutilation to a certain extent. You know what I'm saying? Self-sabotage to a certain extent in the process of trying to succeed.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of people losing in the process of trying to succeed in this society. I'm gonna give you one example of it. We talk about the spiritual and mental wellness, you know, but to think about the fact that our mental and spiritual well-being would really be based on how much money we make. Our spiritual and mental and physical well-being is really determined on how much we succeed in this man-made system. Can you imagine accomplishing or succeeding in a man-made system, having all the influence or the majority of the influence of your natural spiritual well-being? And now knowing that man can manipulate and move the bar and shift and evolve all these different things in this system that he created. These are the standards and requirements that you must live up to be successful. Now deal with it mentally. Take your God-created mind and your natural spiritual self and wrap it around trying to live in this system we created and make sense out of it and say it's right and it's cool and it's okay. And then you see people acting out of order. They going extreme and they doing stuff crazy and they're erratic. Why they doing it? Because they trying to live and trying to figure out how to make order out of chaos. They're trying to make order, trying to find logic and confusion. We live in an environment in the system now that some things we consider normal or that's just how it is. It ain't right.
Yeah.
It ain't right. But we got to do it because it's a system that man has manufactured and created. And the God spirit in us is trying to cope and survive in it the way we naturally should. So all that coming together, determining how we going to succeed and how comfortable we're going to be in life and how happy we're going to be in life and what we achieve and what we experience. All of those things are determined on if we can accomplish success in a manufactured system that some man created and continued to say, this is normal, this is normal, this is the way it's supposed to be. And we say, well, yeah, you know, it's a dog-eat-dog world. You got to get out here and get it. You know, money over everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now we live in a society right now where, you know, at one point in time, it didn't look too good for women to pimp themselves, but now they're doing it voluntarily and they double dipping.
Mm-hmm.
They charging men to hit that thing and then they charging everybody else to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Money. Make a lot of sense, but can you imagine this woman trying to sit back and go home later on in life and understand how she made that make sense? How this man went into this bank and tried to make that make sense, that it was okay to go in here and kill these people, but he didn't have any conflict resolution skills.
Mm-hmm.
And we still don't know why he did it. But somehow something pushed him to the point to where he said, you know what, screw their life, screw my life.
Mm-hmm.
This situation has gotten so bad that I just want to come and act out of order and destroy it. I can't take no more. What is it that messed with his spirit? It was something that man created. Maybe it was his job security. They say he was about to get fired.
Yeah.
Maybe the people on the job manipulated and sabotaged him to cause him to lose his job. Maybe he was just a little too different and he didn't fit in.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he didn't fit into the clique. Maybe he didn't do the things that they do on that job. And so now since he didn't fit in and go along with those petty, childish, ignorant games, now we're going to single you out and pick on you. And to be honest with you, we're going to pick on you so much to the point of where you might want to kill yourself, you want to quit, or we might just try to get you fired because that's how society operates.
Yeah.
And we trying to get people to understand, coming from childhood to today, we can't tell these children how they have to do it. We have to show them.
Exactly.
They have to see it by example, how we get by in this situation and how we maneuver and how we address certain situations so they know how to do it. But the thing is even with that home training being lacking, they can't help it because ain't nobody in the home to train them.
Exactly.
They're working too much.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good. Toya with a T, then I'm coming to Cassandra. Toya, what's on your heart?
Yeah, I had to place my order. Are we on the same topic?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
About and what we're talking about now, pretty much a solution with solution based right now. What can we do? How can we fix it? And what can we do moving forward to ensure that things like this don't happen again?
I mean, well, that's it. Fix it. How about give a hoot about more than just polluting? I mean, that's my thing.
Mm-hmm.
I feel people when they come into the room. I love people, even though I will get in your behind.
Mm-hmm.
But I love people. I feel people when I come in the room. I can look in somebody's eyes and see, oh, that's how they treat you. That's how they do you. See, I'm the one that when I notice something ain't right in the room and you the one getting picked on, I'm gonna come be your friend.
Yeah.
I'm talk to you there at work right now. Oh, how you so cool with this, that, and the third? Because that's the one y'all make the outcast. That's the one y'all leave by themselves. And you'll never know that same person to be that came up in here and blew the face up because of how y'all do folks.
Mm-hmm.
So when I see people are off and you have to care and want to look for these things. See, some of us so busy, we don't care. As long as it ain't me and mine, we don't care.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
We don't acknowledge. Nobody wants to go and see why the bullying your child. Something is wrong there.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of being instead of being a clown going and trying to get somebody in trouble, you need to be trying to get to the root of the problem. Hold on, I need to go talk to their parents. Let's talk to their parents and see what's going on. And sometimes, yes, it can be a struggle, but I'm still ready on go. And you can say I'm ready, but I'm not. You can call me angry all you want to. Just because I say I'm ready for you don't mean I'm ready to fight you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And all of this has an issue on, oh my gosh, I can't go talk to anyone parents is bullying my kids, because then they're going to get mad and want to fight. Oh my gosh, I can't go communicate with certain people of a certain race, because then they're going to want to. No, that's what you get for being a scaredy cat. You need to walk up, have some heart, and say, hey, I need to talk to you and your kid, because they bully your mom. What's going on here?
Mm-hmm.
What y'all need?
Yeah.
What y'all need?
Mm-hmm.
What we got going on here? Because what we cannot do is allow our kids who are going to control our future behave like this right now. So what can we do as parents, as adults, as teachers, as police officers, as counselors, as it's a bunch of human adults walking around and see these issues, and I'm gonna do it again. We still not doing nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Now this may not mean me personally, but I'm talking me as a collective effort. We adults that are in positions of authority right now, we're not doing enough.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We're not doing enough. So it's no one else to look to. It's no one else to holler at except for us.
until
Mhm.
these kids go on. And then when these kids go on, you know what they're going to do? Okay, thank you. They're going to be a reflection of what they were as a child, what they
Mhm.
never accomplished, what they never conquered as a child. They're going to grow up to be these same strange humans, but
Yep.
now with a little bit more power and authority because you think you've grown now.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So it's something that if we're going to talk about it, we're going to have to be about it. And it starts right now where you're at. When you walk down the street, when you go to the store, when you go to church, when you go to school, when you go home, somebody somewhere is in despair on a breaking point, and you need to be looking to their eyes and say, hey, you know what? If I can't tell nobody else no other comfort, I say God loves you, yo. I don't know
Mhm.
what you're going through, and I don't know what's going on, but let me
Yep.
tell you something. There is a God, man, and He does deliverers. And
Mhm.
sometimes I can just let that do that because I can't physically do nothing else, depending on what they're going through.
Yeah.
But I think at the end of the day, just to acknowledge I love you. Just to say, hey, just to call somebody gorgeous. Just to say, hey, good job. That goes a long way because you just never know that breaking point where they're at. If we be
Exactly.
susceptible enough to open up our eyes and look for it.
Mhm. Exactly. Cassandra, let's talk solutions.
Well, Toya, hit it pretty much on the head. We have to pay attention and we have to care enough about someone else. And I don't know. I don't know. I deal with people and their issues, whether it's mental health or whatever. And for a lot of the I don't want to say clients, families that I've dealt with over the years, a lot of these people, they just need to be heard.
Yeah.
They'll tell you what it is that they need if we just listen.
Mhm.
And a lot of times, we don't want to listen.
Yep.
You have to have an open ear. I talk a lot, but guess what? When I'm counseling people, I do listening. I listen to them because in that, I'll be totally honest. A lot of times people, when they're talking, they'll figure out what's going on with them themselves.
Yep.
They'll go
Mhm.
like, wait a minute,
Mhm.
yeah, maybe I am, blah, 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 blah. And so I don't know. Can we just listen to people more and you would know who's going through what, and why they're going through it. But if we won't take the time to even listen to people, because of our whatever,
Mhm.
our time schedules, whatever, that's why, when people call me 2, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm not angry
Yeah.
because I know that that's the time when the enemy is messing with people the most. In that, after that midnight hour, that them demons be real,
Mhm.
and people will call me and say, hey, I just want to kill myself. Why would they call me if they just wanted to kill themselves?
Yeah. Exactly.
Somebody said that earlier. That's a cry for help. That
Yep.
means
Yep.
I don't really want to die, but I don't want to be in pain like this anymore either.
Mhm.
And so I have to figure out in the spirit what I need to say to that person or what I need to do to help them just get through the night sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know, we just gotta listen to people, man. You gotta
Mhm.
pay attention.
Exactly. And that's a big part of it right there. Communication, talking to them, listening to them, being that ear. Even if you might not be able to fix everything, but you can still listen.
Ryan, can I speak?
Just hear them
You
out.
can listen.
Yeah, hear them out. Just hear them out. Hold on, Badge. I'm coming right back around to you. Let me go to Pete. Pete, what's on your heart, brother? Pete, you there? Pete might have stepped away.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I was on mute. I'm sorry.
No, go
I
ahead,
had my
brother.
hands full. I'm gonna go back to what I said earlier. We could be looking at a case of the chickens coming home to roost. When we look at this society and how it's conditioned the citizens, right, the populace.
Mm-hmm.
If you're showing the populace that these are the rules that you live and operate by, right? Why are you shocked when they respond by your book? Why is this a shock to everybody? We act like all this stuff is, somewhat new. Name me a time when America ain't been egregiously violent.
Wow.
Name me a time. Name me a time when this country has operated on righteousness, on truth. on real justice and having a high moral compass, moral principle, character, a fiber within yourself when you are appointed in positions of authority to orchestrate the direction of your society. And not all of a sudden, when people now show you, when people show regard, when did you show regard? When people don't have a concept of love, when did you show love? You've conditioned them to be like this. These are your rules. This is how you operate. This is how you exist. This is how you function. And people are responding to your playbook and playing by your very rules. And now we say, oh, what is this? Yeah, what is it? Somebody was ready to go blow the judge head off in the courtroom. When somebody ready to go hunt the elected official. They're ready to go kill the president or indict him. The president is ready to take the young girls or the young boys today and misuse them sexually. What you got going on in your society? And then you wonder why the populace operate like they operate. These steal, and those that you will take an offense, the offense that they take may motivate them to take a great offensive action against you. How about you don't commit the offense in the first place and then put that energy out there and call for it to come back and revisit you? Double fold. How about that? And then that takes us right back to the origin of the principles in which we stated should be existing as principles in the first place. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. It didn't say like them, love them, or none of that. It says simply do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Would you want this to happen to you?
There you
why
go.
are you doing it to somebody else?
Say it. Say it.
Quit acting shocked when you bring in the nonsense and the foolishness and the detriment and the devilment and the destruction in a determined mindset to your wicked self.
I used to tell people all the time, man, especially when I'm dealing with a young lady, I should tell her all the time too, definitely. Be able to digest what you're feeding. Be able to digest what you're feeding. If you're going to feed it to me, make sure you're able to digest it because I'm going to give it back to you. It's coming back to you. In one way, shape, or form, it's coming back to you. So be able to digest what you're feeding me. Badger, what's on your heart, brother? Toussaint, coming to you next.
Cassandra actually got me crying. Talking about solutions, right? As most of y'all know, I'm on the autism spectrum. You know how many times that some of the people on this very podcast have told me that if I didn't say it, nobody would know?
Do you believe
when
that?
I did, huh?
Do you believe that?
50-50. Or don't use it as an excuse. I've had to come to learn not to listen to what people say, but their actions. When dealing with people that go, well, you don't look autistic. You don't act like an autistic. And to have to sit there and take it because I had to acknowledge that the likelihood that someone is actually going to understand it's a spectrum and that there are different flavors of it, they're not going to take the time to actually learn or even want to listen. They'll say I'll listen, but their actions don't follow their words. So the thing that Cassandra was talking about, I live it every day. My oldest son lives it every day. Of having to deal with people constantly thinking that, I think the word that people use nowadays is neurotypical because of an interaction, not realizing that we are extremely social. I have extreme social anxiety that most people aren't even aware of. That causes me a lot of depression problems. But nobody on here probably even knew.
Wow.
I think Captain Dennis picks up on it from time to time because he makes the comment that I'm in pain all the time, or I sound like I'm in pain all the time. Think about how that affects a human being. So we're talking about solutions and talking about listening to people and things. And then when people are presented someone that actually that does have a mental disorder, are they actually going to follow up with what they say? Or are those just empty words as most people use?
Wow.
It's easy to use words to pretend to be this good, uptight, full of light person. It's another to make sure you walk it.
That's
And
good.
I'm speaking from experience of
Mhm.
dealing with people every day. I can't.
Good deal. Good deal. I appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. Tucson, what's on your heart?
Here's the thing that a lot of people, no matter where you are and who you are, there's enough inside of you to, but you got to, it's on the inside. We look for outside influences and we allow our outside influences to influence who we are. And we make a decision to be better or worse based on somebody else's opinion. And they manipulate us by their demeanor. If that's the way that they do, or what they say, or how they treat you. But I treat me good. I do me good because there's what I have to do to maintain in this sick. This is a sad. This is this. I don't know what in the world there's 70 million people talking about making America great. When, where, what, where, and how. It's never going to be great. Forget that. And I'm not trying to just point out the Trump syndrome. That's okay. I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about we're searching for a void that needs to be filled that only God can. You don't have to believe it. I don't have a dog in that hunt. And you can he says when they asked him who he is, he says, I am. Okay. So however you want to see him, it don't make no difference. Just don't make no image out of it. You'll be better off. You'll be better off. But he's on the inside of you because that's how he operates. He's not in a box. You don't have to say, well, let me figure him out. You don't have to figure him out. You don't have to do that. You can be who you are, great as you are, no matter what your limitations are. He made you like that for a reason, for the betterment of mankind. You're the betterment of mankind. All you got to do is share yourself with somebody else and care. And show some love and some compassion to somebody else because somebody needs it. That's all it is. That's why we're here, to help one another, not manipulate and downplay everybody. Every time you come around, you make everything about you. It ain't about you. So we live in a society, and everybody, every one of us have this unique little gift, this little measure of faith that can make this world better. But we make some decisions and comply to society that creates unreal scenarios, and they say it's right. No, it's not right. It's wrong. You cannot make right wrong.
Yeah.
You can't make wrong right. It don't matter. It won't never. It's like trying to get the West close to the East. It's not that close. But sometimes, you have to look at the quality that's in you to feel better about yourself, because nobody else wants to do it but you.
And sometimes you gotta try a little tenderness. Go ahead.
Yeah, you might as well keep it real. And here's another thing, Raheem. I'm glad you're doing that because we get touchy-feely.
Yeah.
And we don't know how to laugh. That's a good medicine for everybody. It's not that it's serious, but it's not that serious. You make it like that because Oh, they're hurting my feelings. Now I'm going to have to do something. I know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to blow their brains out.
Mm.
I
That
feel
ain't
like
tenderness.
killing myself. That's not a solution.
Mm-mm.
That's
That
a
ain't no
problem.
tenderness. You try a little tenderness. Rico, then I'm going to
On it
Ryan.
too
Rico, what's
hard.
on you? Rico, what's on your heart, brother?
Don't hit it on the head, man. You know, and it's sort of going back to what I was saying earlier. It's the standards of society that has been set that determines whether or not you're successful. And your success is going to depend on your confidence.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to depend on your the amount of happiness that you accomplish. Success. And those standards might actually contradict what's right naturally. You know, I remember when I was young, I seen this little toy with a thing on the middle, and you pull the string, and they'll land on an animal, or they'll land on the letter,
yeah.
and they'll give you that letter, and then
Mhm.
and they call it a show and tell.
Yeah.
And that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to show and tell.
Mhm.
We're supposed to show concern and compassion, and then tell people how to do it.
Mhm.
Or if you tell people, then show them, one of the two.
Mhm.
And it was always something that I took upon me, man. I noticed how my grandmother raised me and my cousins, and I was like, well, she must have did the same thing with her children. Prepared me on how to treat people, what was right, what was wrong, compassion, how to handle conflict, how to keep my hands to myself, because I used to, you know, I learned that aggressive thing from my stepfather
Mhm.
about how to handle conflict.
Yep.
And so, you know, she taught me another way, sort of try to give me that balance. It's still a little extreme, but, you know, I'm a work in progress still, but she gave me that. If it wasn't for her, then I would be a lot worse.
Mhm.
But she showed
Mhm.
me, and she told me, and she showed me from a young age. And I noticed from that point forward, every time I came around a child, if I saw that child was lacking or should be doing something at a certain age that they aren't doing at that time, I would subconsciously start implementing that.
Mhm.
You know your ABCs?
Yeah.
You know how to count, say A, B, same general questions
Mhm.
at the same general age, because it was something that was necessary for them to be able to make it in this world from this day forward. And if they start losing or getting behind at an early age, then it's going to be harder for them to catch it later on, because the basic necessities, you know, or the foundation or just the root of how to crawl before you walk might be hard to understand when you first started getting exposed to people flying.
Mhm. Mhm.
If you get exposed to people driving cars 200 miles per hour, but you never knew that was at one point in time there was no wheel, then how you gonna know how to crawl before you walk?
Exactly. That's good.
See, some people think that, you know, I actually noticed that some people come into this world thinking that everything was the way it was now before. They don't understand evolution. They don't understand crawling before you walk. Each one teach one. But that is our job, is to teach one. And so when we start seeing what's going on and we seeing all this dysfunction, all this extreme disorder, we know about MK Ultra. We know about the influences. We know about all of these man-made things that influence the way we move and act in our experience.
Mhm.
But one thing we refuse to hold more as more important is that natural spiritual mentality. And so, you know, really, when we see what's going on in school shooting and the violence and the bias and discrimination and racism, all of it is mental manipulation, and it shouldn't exist. This whole way that we live, you know, people putting labels on races of people.
Yep.
Saying I'm better than you because I'm white. I deserve privilege because I'm old lady. I'm a queen. You got to treat me like this. And so now people don't think that they still supposed to treat you fair because they're in a certain position or title that a man created, a man standard.
Yep.
It's completely contradictory to the natural standard of what's righteous and what's natural. So, you know, I think we have to start learning to figure out the priority of what's natural and what's righteous, and at the same time teaching people the balance of a value system of your mental. I mean, because if we really want to maintain some type of mental stability, we can't get caught up in this man-made system because it is completely dysfunctional.
Exactly.
And the ball moves. And what's acceptable yesterday might not be acceptable today. And what was unacceptable yesterday may be acceptable today, as long as it make money.
How they say yesterday prices ain't today's prices. Ain't that what he say? Ryan, what's on your heart, brother?
So I'm listening to Donald and Rico, and they both hit it on the head. Standards. And while I don't identify religiously as a Christian because I have a large disdain for religion. I hate religion. I still see the value in certain things. And so you look at the standards that we've changed as a society, as we've changed as a country, removing prayer from schools, removing the Bible from schools, removing doing the Pledge of Allegiance even has its moral grounds, right? Because you're saying the pledge every day in class, or you're saying it during a meeting in the gymnasium, right? You're getting everybody on one accord. It's a unifying thing. And the more that we remove these standards and change the way that upbringing was, whether you agree with, the country or not, these are your unifying tools. And when we keep removing this stuff, if you watch over time, you can see the changes in society, in these kids, and what's happening in the schools. And you can just watch, and it's almost like a timetable. You can see when they remove this, these things start changing. So now we've removed God, we've removed prayer, we've removed Bibles, and what have we replaced them with? Pride flags. We've replaced it with all of these things that children have no business learning about. Because scientifically, your brain is not able to handle it until a minimum of age 25, right?
Wow. Good deal.
So,
go ahead, brother. Finish your thought.
Just finishing up, like, so as a people,
we have a bad background coming from somebody's line. I don't know if that's your line or not. Ryan, it might be your line. We might got some feedback.
Yeah, that's him. He outside.
Yeah, you got a real bad feedback coming from your line, there, brother.
My bad.
Okay, go ahead.
Is
Try
it
it
any
now.
better?
Yeah, no, it's that wind. It's that wind. You outdoors.
It's the
That
wind.
wind.
All right, let me block the wind. There we go. How's that?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so that being said, we as a people have the controlling viewpoint, right? So everybody's sitting down to all this stuff they're pushing, and we're letting them get away with it. They're running over us with 0.00001% of the population deciding what we're going to do. And we just sit back and take it. We have to take that control back, and we have to say, no, we want these things in school. We want this standard back so that we can be human beings again and get back to that unification push. Some people may not see it, but that's how I saw it growing up, as this is making us one unit. We all are doing the same thing. Nobody's trying to be outside the box and be crazy, and things are cool. But now we've replaced it with all this absurdities, and it's driving me nuts.
Wow. That's and that could be a very good conversation for tomorrow, being Way Out Wednesday. But right now, let me go to Willow.
Hey, Raheem.
Talk to me.
I totally agree with what Ryan is saying. That those are things that build unity, and they took those things away, and now it's even worse than what it is. Believe it or not, Ryan is on the point, even with saying that he doesn't like religion, because when it comes to spirituality, it's not about religion, it's about your spirituality. See, the Pharisees and the scribes, they were religious because they knew the law. That's another subject that we could talk about. But they didn't even agree that Christ was who he was. So he's on the right track. God wants us to be spiritual, not religious. Because when we're religious, we follow traditions and we follow man-made laws instead of the things that God instructed us to. And I'm trying to get back to where we are in our subject because of the fact that you're looking for a solution. And the solution is what everybody says. Cassandra said it right. You got to care about people. You got to want to make a change. You got to want to do different. It can't be just in your backyard.
Yeah.
Because if you wait for it to become something, a issue that's in your backyard, now it's like a tree.
Yeah.
It's too late to try to cut it down. So you got to cut it down from the root so it won't grow back.
Come on.
So when we look at us as individuals, we have to say, you know what? I'm on board. And if everybody, just like Ryan said in the beginning, we start practicing that unity as a people, stop separating ourselves individually. We can have our own individual personalities, our own individual characteristics, and whatever it is that we want to do, because we got that free will.
Yeah.
But living in a society where we got to live together, let's come together as one, and we need to find that solution to do that where they took it from us. And that was the way of building us as one. The prayer in school, the Pledge of Allegiance of school, whatever it was a unit. And we were all doing it as one at the same time.
Exactly.
That's what's on my heart right here.
Good deal. We got another caller from the 317 area code. 317. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hello.
Hello.
This is Eddie calling from Georgia.
Hey, Eddie, how you doing, brother?
Listening. I'm fine. How you doing, brother?
Hey, doing good, doing good. I know you've been listening for a while, man. I appreciate the fact that you've been commenting, man. But what's on your heart? Talk to us.
And everybody is just right on point. Right now, man, it looks like it's a godless society. You know what I mean? It's nobody has. Not too many people have. Not I'm gonna say nobody, but our population is now. Society is now over sexualized. You know what I mean? The young ladies out here, like the brother was talking about earlier.
Hello, Eddie, you there? Yeah, you're breaking up. You're breaking up. You're breaking up. Your line is breaking up on us.
So, okay, can you hear me good?
Yeah, there you go. There you go. We can hear you now. Go ahead.
Okay, my apologies. But anyway, our society right now is over-sexualized. I mean, well, not over-sexualized. It's hyper-sexualized now. It's you know, you have single mothers out here teaching our young ladies to forget the ABC. They teach them how to twerk now. I mean, it seems like we live in a godless. I mean, it seems like we live in a godless society. You know what I mean? Like families don't even go to churches, not like they was before. Not even paying the tithes, the offering. Not even having a communication line with God. They have a communication line with social media, but they don't even try to even pray anymore. You know what I mean? And I'm not all. You know what I'm saying? But my thing is, and I'm gonna try to be real quick, and hopefully it makes sense. But you know, it says in the Bible that every knee shall bow and know that I am Lord, that I am God.
Yeah,
and a lot of people, you know, don't even, like I said, the faith is completely gone. When they say we are in the last days, this is what you're seeing right now. These are the last days. It's okay for, you know, to take out prayer in schools, but it's okay to have LGBTQ courses or classes about that. And it's out of control now. The bullying is out of control, where it gets to the point where people, like you guys were talking about earlier, where people are just like, hey, forget it, man. You know what? I don't care about my life. I don't care about your life. I'm just going to go ahead and just act on my own will by just, you know, going out here and just being murderous. And it's, that's all I got right now. I'm sorry.
It's a lot, brother.
I just thought I'd throw that in there.
It's a lot, and I definitely appreciate you calling in, man. You know that we're here every day, Monday through Friday, from 7 o'clock until 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we have different topics every day. Make sure you come back and visit us and share the broadcast with other people as well, if you don't mind doing so, sir. Cassandra, what's on your heart?
Thank you.
Absolutely. Cassandra? Cassandra, you there? Tucson, talk to me, brother.
Yeah. There is a void that no matter what you do, whether you're religious, I'm not religious. I have a spiritual aspect about myself. I would hope to. But there's a void that you're trying to fill. Every one of us make an attempt to fill. We've been doing that since we got here, that only God can. You don't have to believe it. It don't make no difference. But there's a little bit of him inside of you that you can't get rid of.
Absolutely.
And he wants you to yield to that righteousness. That's what we're missing in society. In our world that we live in, that we call our world, that's not our world. It's his.
Come on.
It belongs to him. Check with him about his, even you. And you might come up with an answer. But no, you let life play out and you get yourself in trouble. Then you search him out. No. Seek him while he may be found. Call upon him while he's near. It'd be better if you seek him in the days of your youth, before your teeth fall out.
Come on now.
Before your eyes get dim. Before it's hard to move. You want to hand God the leftovers. It don't work like that. Oh, I'm gonna get it when I finish having my fun. And most of us, we might as well admit it. We was young.
Yeah.
And we did some things. And we found out, man, what in the world? We got echo.
Yeah, somebody just called in. There you go. They fixed it.
Yeah, but we have our fun, and then we find out, man, what am I doing in this club every night? My daddy used to say, son, do you have a key to the club? I said, no, Daddy. He said, why you stay till I tell it? Do stuff. That don't make no sense. And then we get 60, 50, 40, 5, 50, 60, 70, and I'm going to accept the Lord. Or I found him. That might be the problem. You found him.
Yeah.
You lying because you wasn't looking for him. He looking for you.
I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way.
You passionate or you angry?
A little bit of both, brother.
Sound like somebody.
A little bit of both. Let them teach the way. Listen, we're going to get out of here, man. Anybody got anything on the call? I know the singing was just that good. I know, brother. I know. I appreciate it, brother. Appreciate it. I love it when somebody.
So I'm probably gonna bring this up tomorrow too. Please, I really hope people weigh their words before they speak to someone and search for a higher purpose. And it ain't money. Money ain't gonna fulfill it. It really ain't. It's gonna stay there. I really hope people search for a higher purpose and weigh their words before they just speak them to anybody. Words can be just as powerful as an action is.
Look here, but y'all done brought another song to my spirit. For the love of money, woman will sell her precious body. Come on, Rico. For the love of money, a woman will sell her precious body. For a small piece of paper carries a lot of weight.
Choke him, Rico. Choke him.
Toya with a T, talk to me, sis.
You supposed to sing from the stomach, like how you be doing that about the boogie shoes. You remember it was Zamar told me to come from the stomach?
Exactly.
It probably sound better.
Come from the stomach when you say body.
A woman will sell her precious body. Man, y'all got me acting like a clown on here. Toya with a T, you there?
Oh, God.
Yes, sir. I am. I'm in the background clowning too.
There you go. Sing it, Toya with a T. Sing it. For the love of money.
I don't know all those words. Yeah.
For the love of money.
I still don't remember them.
For the love of money.
I don't know what
That's for that Simpson. That's for that
For the
Simpson.
love of money.
I know that part, but that means
today.
green.
What
Green.
There you go. What's on y'all? You got anything before we get out of here?
No, love y'all. Have a good day, and I'll be looking forward to my morning show. Like my day be, I'll be off. I was off last week. What? I like what is going on. My days are just weird.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I said, man, we was running around Dallas, Texas, man. We having a good time, but I definitely miss y'all,
And
man.
didn't even come visit me. I'm only like an hour and a half away.
Man, look here, we talked about that, and you didn't get back. I said get back every when I did my that post from that place with all them pictures, and you comment. I said you said you said 2 hours. You said you was about 2 hours away.
Hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah,
dude, what you mean? I messaged back. I said just call me. You never called.
Man, I ain't get no message, man. I ain't get no message. For the love of money, a woman will sell her precious body. And how you do it?
Okay, then.
We could have had ribs and all kinds of stuff.
Go ahead, Eddie.
There you go. That's how you do it. But I'm gonna tell you something. That's to me. That's one of the great. That Eddie Levert. That joker could blow, boy. That joker that could blow. That joke.
Hey, you hear me, Raheem?
Oh,
you missed
I
out
heard,
on ribs, man.
I heard you. I heard you. And, you know, after the fact, you know, I was going to say so. I can't say it on. I can't say it on.
I want to throw this in real quick though, man, because I noticed that we hit on the spirit quite a bit.
Yeah.
And I'm one of the people that always say that I ain't never been too religious either, but I could remember every morning saying that Lord's Prayer before school, man. It seemed like it gave everybody a time to, the same thing that meditation does. It gave you sort of calm and relaxing feeling.
Mm-hmm.
If I had a bad night the night before, and then I woke up that next morning and that atmosphere was still there a little bit. When I got to school and I sat there for that little time that we said the Lord's Prayer in unison out loud, it did something. Yeah. It changed the atmosphere for everybody in that class. And you notice after they took prayer to school, it did get worse. But that it really goes to show you just how deep the spirit is. Absolutely. Like religion is man-made, but spiritual, that is natural. And when you see people going into school shooting and going into banks shooting and killing numerous people along with themselves, somewhere their spirit is broken.
Yeah.
The brother said something about the godliness being missing, and that is the sign of a spirit being broken and also not being procured or cured at a younger age. Like Willard's been saying, and I've been saying, it got to start at the root.
Yeah,
you got to start at a very young age. And during this time we was having this talk, man, it just came to me like an epiphany. When I said that about the behavioral specialist being in the classroom with the teacher. I think at the very young ages, elementary school, they should have anger management classes.
Yeah. And I can't let you do that, man. Our sister don't say that, man. Well, she don't say that. She say at the root. At the root.
The root. She
you got to get it from the root.
But it starts, man. I mean, you could actually, work on a child's spirit, but starting at a very young age, teaching children how to problem-solving skills, conflict resolution, anger management. It would be better to teach them at an early age than to have to do it after they get older and have to go to court and learn something or get put in jail for something that they should have known at a young age.
And I like to give visuals. It's so much easier. It's so much easier to take a little small shovel, and if you got a plant that's just getting started, to reach down and dig up the root. It's easier to do that than when the tree is grown, because when the tree is grown up, you ain't gonna. It's gonna be almost difficult, man, for you to get the whole root, because it done spread it out so far. So catch it early. Was dig down real a little small little plant. It just popped up. Dig it up. You got the root. You got all of that. Clean it up. Do what you need to do to it, and replant it. Absolutely, right. Absolutely. With that being said, Rico, what's going on at 3? Hold on, before I do that, Tucson, I need you to do something for me real quickly. Say ooh wee. How she say it? How she say it?
Ooh, wee. Lord have mercy.
There you go. There you go. Rico, what's going on at 3 o'clock today?
If you missed today's show and would like to hear or see the rebroadcast in its entirety, you can tune in at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on www.dklmediagroup.com.
Entirety. It got to be in its entirety.
I swear, Raheem.
There you go. What up?
Raheem,
Well, I just got to ask you a question. Are you ready?
I am so ready, Raheem, to receive God's word. Come on, Raheem. Let's go.
Well, I ain't got one more thing to say. Well, I got one more thing to say. Let's go.
Amen. Come on, let us approach the throne of grace this morning with boldness this morning, with expectations. Father God in heaven, Lord, we thank you, Lord, for allowing us to get up, to commune one to another, to be on one accord, Lord, with your message, Lord. Father, I'm asking you and I'm praying, Lord, that you organize our days, Lord, that you help us to serve our purpose for you, Lord. Father, we thank you and we glorify you this morning, Lord. Father, we thank you for your mercy. We thank you for your grace, Lord. Father, I'm praying, oh Lord, that you help those, Lord, that are lost. Help us, oh Lord. Give us the Holy Spirit to lead us and guide us, direct us. Help us and line us up with your will, showing your ways, Lord. Father, we thank you, Lord, for all the things that you do, Lord. Father, because we trust you and we stand on your word and your words alone. Father, we're standing on your promises, Lord, that you're a keeper. We're standing on your promises, Lord, that you're a comforter during those times when we lose our loved ones, Lord. Father, we trust you, Lord, to give us the peace that surpasses all understanding. We trust you, Lord, to help us to forgive when we don't even want to forgive. We thank you, Lord, for doing those things in our lives, Lord. And I'm continually praying, Lord, that you allow the angels to be encamped around our families, Lord, knowing that we're living in an evil and wicked world. We love you, Lord. I'm asking you, oh Lord, and I'm praying that you touch each and every last one on this line, Lord. Father, touch Badger's family, Lord, in the mighty name of Jesus, Lord. Father, whatever his needs are, Lord, Father, I'm asking you, oh Lord, to give it to him in your time, Lord. Prepare him, oh Lord. Father, let him know that it was you that did it, oh Lord. Father, in the name of Jesus, I'm allowing the Holy Spirit to dwell in this vessel, leading me, guiding me, Lord. Thank you for the power that you give me, Lord. Decrease, Willa. Allow the Holy Spirit to continually go forth, that they'll receive your message, Lord. Oh, I love you, Lord. I love you, Lord. I love you, Lord, and I trust you. Thank you, Lord. Thank you for the morning glow, Lord. Thank you for me, keeping him safe, protecting his family. In Jesus' name, amen, amen, and amen. We thank you, Lord. Holy Ghost, we thank you. Thank you, Jesus. Amen.
I'm going to say it for you. Ooh, wee. I'm going to say it for you. God almighty. Boy, look here. Something about a prayer, man. Rico, ain't it something? It's something about it, ain't it?
Yeah, I just said it, man. Not to keep going into detail, but in my upbringing and going through some of them nights of abuse and waking up in the next morning with that same thing on my mind because I've slept that night with anxiety and barely slept. I can remember in elementary school that calm and relaxing feeling after those school prayers. And so it's, we got to understand, man, when they say this is the devil's land, those prayers like that really come in effect because they did decide to take prayers out of school that connected us spiritually with the Creator and bring in drag queens.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Wow. Truth. With that being said, it's been a great broadcast. Anybody got anything before we get out of here? Anybody got anything quickly before we get out of here? Good deal. Good deal. It's been a great broadcast. I want to thank everybody for joining us. And more than that, I want to thank you for allowing DKM Media Group and Associates and the Morning Glow for being a part of your morning. It is now 10:25. Man, y'all got 25 extra minutes out of it. Man, I started right on time and still had to go over. God almighty, man, look at him. Boy, y'all gonna owe me. Y'all gonna owe me, boy. Like 25 whole minutes. God almighty. I want to thank you for joining us. More than that, I want to thank you for allowing DKM Media Group and Associates and the Morning Glow for being a part of your morning. It's been a great broadcast, and I want to thank you all for joining us. But before you leave, before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us because we are certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple, I want you to go out there, find somebody, and give them a hug because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you can do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. And then we shine some of this light on you for the Morning Glow. Take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in, and let your light so shine. If you get an opportunity, give somebody some love. You just might find some love in return. Won't that be a beautiful thing? Have a great day. Take care of each other, and please, please, please be blessed. Give somebody some love and truth. I'm sure that they would understand. They would appreciate it. And I'm very sure that you will as well. Have a great day. Love you. Don't forget tonight, Real Men Being Men, 8 o'clock p.m. to 10 o'clock p.m. right here, DKM Media Group and Associates. Real Men Being Men. Don't miss it. Don't meet us here. Beat us here. Talk to you then. Have a great day. Love ya.